What's going on, Fantasy Endgame? It is Saturday night. We're getting you ready. Of course, we've already had a couple games this week, and it hasn't really gone the way we expected. I mean, we're currently sitting at Javonte Williams, Jahan Dotson, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, having Hollywood Brown having more points than guys like AJ Brown, more points than Omarion Hampton, more points than George Pickens, more points than Lad McConkey. Yeah, Xavier Worthy, of course, hasn't been a great start for the first two games. We got a ton of games tomorrow. We're going to get you ready for those games. Now, real quick, as you can see, it is just me right now. Pierre is on his way back from a college football game. He will be jumping on a bit later, but I will be here to answer many of your questions as I can before Pierre gets here. Of course, we got to start. Jump right in. Let's jump into the injury news that you need to know heading into the first week. Now, it's not too bad because it is only the first week, so thankfully not a ton of injuries. Let's start with the doubtful players, and of course, we got to start with Christian. Yes, that's right. Christian Kirk of the Houston Texans will not be playing this week, unfortunately. Very sad. I like Christian Kirk as a late-round sleeper. Dealing with a hamstring injury, already missing time. Not good. You already know Chris Godwin is out, I hope. You're not starting Chris Godwin. Then a couple of Dolphins players will be out. Darren Waller, Jalen Wright, Darren Waller. What are we doing here, Dolphins? Why did they even sign? Why did they trade John? Did they really want Minka Fitzpatrick that badly that they got rid of Jonnu Smith and replaced him with Darren Waller? Waller not even playing this week. Hopefully you did not draft Jalen Waller. And then for the Ravens, Isaiah Likely also out this week, so it should be a nice game for Mark Andrews. Now let's get to the questionable. And this, of course, is the big one. The real Christian McCaffrey. Now, I will say, there's a lot of parallels between this and like last year. It's kind of weird. But I think there's also some major differences here. Difference number one, this guy's participated in the entire training camp. Remember last year, he was not participating in training camp. Number two, he was out there yesterday with a helmet on, doing like calf double leg bounding jumps and stuff. I don't think you do that if you just injured your calf. You're going to be resting and rehabbing. And then number three, we got a report from Ian Rappaport that says, he's barring a setback, he's likely to play. And then the last thing that encourages me here is the 49ers did not call up a running back or elevate a running back from the practice squad, which tells me they feel pretty good about Christian McCaffrey playing tomorrow. So I think if Christian McCaffrey plays, you got to play him. I'm sure we'll get a lot of CMC questions, but if he plays, you got to play him. Darnell Mooney for the Falcons, also questionable. Remember, has been dealing with that shoulder injury. Not sure this really matters. Jaden Reed, questionable. Apparently, he's going to try to play through a Jones fracture. Like, come on, dude. Like, please don't start Jaden Reed. And then Dontavian Wicks, also questionable. And then the good news here, the couple players that are in. Devon Achane, remember, he's been dealing with that calf. People are freaking out. Like, I can't draft Achane. Oh, my God. Well, he's playing. He's good to go. He's not even on the injury report. Going to be fine. Hopefully you took the injury dip on Devon Achane. Then Tyreek Hill was dealing with that oblique injury. Sounds like he is playing as well. That's it. Like I said, it's a light injury week this week. We got, the first game. We don't have a lot of big injuries, so that's good. Now let's get to a couple things before we get to your questions. I can't do the Draft Lane app here because my Mac is apparently too old for the Draft Lane app just to mirror it, but I do want to let you know, if you go download the Draft Lane app, you can see it scrolling right there, and you sign up for free, and you go to there's the little wheel at the bottom, and you click on that, and it says promo code. If you type in the code Endgame, that will give you a $10 credit that you can use to ask questions. You can get start sit, waiver wire trades, whatever you want on there. And what's really cool about it, it's not just like type in a question like you do on here. We actually can see your roster. So if you're on Sleeper or Yahoo, or if you have any Draft Lane league, you can link your leagues to the Draft Lane app. And then when you ask the question, it will show us your league. We can actually look at your roster and say this is who we start, this is who we sit. Or if you ask trade questions, we can actually see the rest of your league and, look at other players, look at what your team needs, look at what other teams have, and suggest some good trade ideas for you there. So check it out. It's on App Store, Google Play, Draft Lane. Sign up, make a free account, sync your leagues, Yahoo and Sleeper if you're on those leagues, which I'm sure a lot of you are. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for ESPN. Go to that wheel, use the promo code Endgame, and we'll credit your account $10, and that is just for right now, probably just going to be for week 1. And then I also do need to let you know that right now, oops, on Underdog, there we go. They got some promos going. Why am I still? Get me off the screen. There we go. All right, we got some promos going this week. Number 1, you get a gimme pick, and they're doing gimme picks a little different this year. Like, whereas in years past it was like, oh, okay, it's this guy on Thursday, then it's this guy on Sunday, then it's this guy on Monday. No, the gimme picks just keep going. So whenever you decide to go play and make picks on Underdog, there's going to be a gimme pick for you. Who it is, I don't know. It depends what time you go, what games are playing, but there will be a gimme pick for you no matter what. You can see right there, it's usually like half a yard. The Saquon gimme pick they had on Thursday, he just needed to get 1 yard, and you win that pick. You pair it with another pick, and it's an easy way to get a win right off the bat. And, of course, also what they're doing right now, you play $5, so you make a $5 pick. You can use that gimme pick, and they're going to credit your account $50 in bonus funds. That's great. Of course, you use promo code ENDGAME when you sign up. And then on top of that, if all that wasn't enough, you get that gimme pick, but you also still have the deposit match 50% up to $1,000 of bonus cash. So great time to go try out Underdog if you haven't yet, because they're giving away all sorts of stuff. They're always doing specials. I also saw tomorrow, I think they have, let me check. I think they have like a 100% boost. What is this? Get out of here. Let me get it now. Yes, they have a 100% profit boost tomorrow. So use that as well. So that means if you win, whatever your payout would have been, it's doubled. So go ahead, use that 100% profit boost on tomorrow. A lot of lines on there, of course, from every NFL game. Check it out, Underdog Fantasy. Just make sure when you sign up, you do use promo code ENDGAME. All right, with that out of the way, we're going to get to the questions. Let me remind you, if it's your first time here, we are going to answer as many questions as we can. We do have to prioritize the super chats. Depending on how busy we are or I am, we'll get to some other chats as well. But if you want to make sure your question gets answered, use that super chat feature. That's what it's there for. It's kind of like the fast pass, jump you to the front of the line. Let's jump right into it now with the first question. And this was from how many hours ago? Wow, like right when I posted the stream. NTY on here, first question. What's up? Thank you so much. All right, saying he stashed Brian Robinson Jr. and Tyler Algier. But he's got Tank Bigsby and Cedric Tillman on the waiver wire. Any point to pick either up. Yeah, I'm not dropping. I don't think you cannot drop Brian Robinson Jr. right now. Even though it sounds like Christian McCaffrey is playing, and we're hopeful that he's going to play, and we want him to play, there's still real risk here with Christian McCaffrey until we see him on the field playing and getting through a full game healthy and good to go. You can't really drop Brian Robinson Jr. I will say I think you can drop Tyler Algier for Cedric Tillman. I have no issue with that. I mean, Tyler Algier, yes, he's an elite handcuff. And yes, you want Tyler Algier. Should something happen to Bijan Robinson, you want Tyler Algier, absolutely. But I really like Cedric Tillman this week. I think Cedric Tillman can have a nice game against the Bengals. So I will drop Algier for Cedric Tillman, but don't drop Brian Robinson Jr. It's too risky right now, Christian McCaffrey. You got to hold Brian Robinson Jr. if you got him. If he gets through the game fully healthy, no setbacks, and he looks great, okay, then you can drop Brian Robinson Jr. if you want. But right now, no way you can drop Brian Robinson Jr. All right, let's get to one of our members. Derek, what's up, Derek? Hampton killed me. I mean, yeah, he wasn't great as far as fantasy goes. I was texting Pierre like during the Dallas game because we obviously recommended Pickens a lot. He didn't do anything. I said, how did we get to this point at Pickens where we were like so high on George? I still really like George Pickens over the season, but there were certainly risks in that game. Now, we didn't expect Quinion Mitchell to shadow Pickens like they did. Hampton was the guy I was kind of on the fence about. I didn't love this matchup against KC. Remember, KC's one of the best run defense. He was a rookie making his first start. So, yeah. Do I think, I wasn't too excited for him in this matchup. Do I think things would get better for him? Yeah. So I wasn't able to watch the game last night, but when I got home, I watched every Hampton run from that game, every Hampton run and catch from that game. He looked great. Hampton himself looked just fine. Like breaking tackles, good vision, good burst, catching passes. Like, he looked fine. There were, I mean, first of all, it was a tough Chiefs run defense. But number two, there were many runs. I shouldn't say many runs, but there were a handful of runs where that offensive line just got absolutely blown up by the Chiefs front. Remember, they lost Rashawn Slater. They've moved Joe Alt to the left tackle. Now, Joe Alt did play left tackle in college, but he didn't play it. He hasn't played in the pros yet, so it is a bit of an adjustment for him again. I think the offensive line will get better. They're not going to play the Chiefs every single week. You got to like how good Herbert looked in the passing game. Look, that was the most shocking thing because the Chiefs had just pretty much every time they'd played the Chargers had just shut down Herbert in that passing game. So you got to think that's going to open up the running game. I do think better days definitely ahead for Hampton. I'm not worried about Najee taking a spot. One carry last night. It's going to be a while till Najee gets worked in, and hopefully Hampton gets rolling then. So I know it wasn't a great first game for Hampton, but don't do anything crazy. I think better days are ahead for Hampton, definitely. And then also Kyron Williams, Chuba, or Monty, bench one. I'm going to bench Monty here. I love Chuba this week against the Jags. I can't really sit Kyron Williams. I have no reason to sit Kyron Williams. Monty's fine, but he's going to be my bench here. All right, hope that helped you out, Derek. Thank you for that. All right, another one of our members, Jay, what's up? If CMC is out, his options are Mason, Chris Rodriguez, Dylan Sampson. Awkward if last-minute decision due to start time. Yeah, so it is better than last year. Remember, last year the 49ers played on Monday Night Football. And remember, leading up to that game, Christian McCaffrey himself said he expected to play. Shanahan said he expected him to play. And then it was like an hour before the game, they said, no, he's not playing. And everybody was screwed. So at least we have a little more warning this time. Yeah, they do play the late slate tomorrow. But I think he'll be fine here with Mason. I mean, he's no Christian McCaffrey, of course, but he can score a touchdown. He should be, pretty heavily involved here. I'm not scared of that Bears run defense. I think you should be okay with Mason. I mean, it's not ideal, right? We want to start McCaffrey, but if McCaffrey's out, Mason should be fine. All right, Jordan saying, so far my misses this season have been dropping Javonte Williams for JCM. I mean, I don't think anybody, like what was Javonte Williams even rostered in fantasy leagues? Like, nobody saw that coming. And look, I'll say two things about Javonte Williams. Number one, the usage is there. I mean, Jadon Blue was a healthy scratch, which I don't think anybody expected that. That was like a right before the game healthy scratch. And number two, Miles Sanders didn't look very good, and then he fumbled the ball. So the usage was there for Javonte. But let's take out the 2 touchdowns. 17 touches for 64 yards. Like, I know it's the Eagles, but the defense, Jalen Carter ejected before the game even starts. I mean, the defensive line a little banged up. Like, he didn't look like Javonte Williams didn't look great. Now, that being said, if he's going to get that kind of volume, he's going to be a serviceable player for fantasy every week. Is he going to score 2 touchdowns every week? Of course not, because I mean, it was just a weird game, right? No passing touchdowns in that entire game. It was just the game was just weird, right? It was kind of a weird game. But if he's going to be the guy getting all the touches in the Dallas backfield, that's certainly going to give him value. So can't beat yourself up for that. And look, drafting CMC in the first round, like we can't already say CMC is a miss. It sounds like he's playing. Let's wait a little bit before we call CMC a miss for the first game has even been played here. All right, and then we got Joe. What's up, Joe? Flexing Joku or Odunze full PPR. If this isn't tight end premium, I'm still going Odunze here. I mean, I know we like Njoku, but we like Njoku as a tight end. Like, I don't know if Njoku has the upside of a wide receiver like Odunze this week. I still got to put Odunze ahead of Njoku in full PPR. I know the Vikings have a good defense, but I still think there's plenty of upside here for Odunze. I can't stream a tight end, even when I like Njoku, over a good wide receiver like Odunze. So I'm still flexing Odunze here. Hope you're doing well, Joe. All right, another one from our members. Doug saying, good evening. Needs 1 wide receiver in full PPR from Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Ricky Pearsall, and Josh Downs. We did just get some news about Travis Hunter. He's going to be full-time wide receiver in week 1. And, I guess a little bit a corner. What did they say? What was the exact? Let me get According to Adam Schefter, they're planning for Travis Hunter to be an every down wide receiver and situational corner. So he's going to be out there a lot, and it's a great matchup, of course, against the Panthers. I really feel like, I can't believe I put A.J. Brown on the Booms video after basically fading A.J. Brown the entire offseason, saying this guy's overrated as far as fantasy goes. I should have put BTJ on the Booms. I really think BTJ is going to have a huge game. I don't know why I didn't put BTJ on the Boom. I think BTJ is going to have a huge game. But I think compared to these guys, I might go Travis Hunter. It's a good matchup. I think it's close between him and Pearsall. I still like Pearsall even with Jennings. I'm not like completely out on Pearsall now with Jennings being good to go. But I do think that dings him down a little bit. So I might go Travis Hunter here. It's a great matchup. He's going to be an every down wide receiver. He's going to play out of the slot. That's enough for me. Let's go with Travis Hunter. And then saying someone dropped Rice. Yeah, you should definitely pick up Rice. You can drop Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is out. Christian Kirk, sadly, probably going to miss multiple weeks with that hamstring injury, sadly. So you can drop Christian Kirk right now. Definitely pick up Rashee Rice. I mean, especially, we don't know about Xavier Worthy yet. But from what I understand, and I'm not a doctor here, I'm just saying what other Twitter doctors have said. It's either an injury where he might miss 3 to 4 weeks, or he's got to have surgery and his season's over. If his season's over, Rashee Rice is going to be a second half potential league winner in this offense. So absolutely grab Rashee Rice. You can drop Christian Kirk. All right. Not a member of Super Chat, but Lane and Jay is always on here. Let's get to this question. 10-team PPR, QB Mahomes, Knicks. All right. And Mahomes, Mahomes had a nice game thanks to that rushing touchdown, but I'm a little nervous we're not going to see vintage Mahomes again because, all his wide receivers are hurt again. Genty, Bucky, Henderson, Harvey, Sharbs, Ollie, wide receiver, London, Garrett Wilson, Harrison, Hunter, and Njoku, Ingram, Rate. 10-teamer, Genty, Bucky, Henderson, Harvey, Sharbs, Ollie Gordon. Very good at running back. London, Garrett Wilson, Harrison, Hunter. Not bad at wide receiver. At least you have a stud, though. You have a stud. QBs are fine. I like your tight ends. For a 10-teamer, I'll say 8.5. I'm assuming you already played Mahomes, so I won't do that. 2 running backs are going to be Genty and Bucky, definitely. 2 wide receivers are going to be London. I really like Garrett Wilson this week. I think I'm going to flex. Let me see. I got my sheet here. I put everything in there. It's close between Harrison and Hunter, but I think I'm going to go Harrison because of the Saints. That one's close at the flex. I'm not flexing any of those running backs. And then Njoku at tight end. All right, good luck this week. All right, back to Super Chats. Kyle, start one. Travion Henderson or Diggs in PPR. I'm going Diggs. I like Diggs this week. It's the Raiders. It's a good matchup. Look, we saw Travion Henderson last night. Now, granted, that was a good run defense, but we saw Travion Henderson last night, or not Travion Henderson, Omarion Hampton last night get basically all the touches in that backfield and just have an okay game. You can't expect Travion Henderson to come out and be a beast in his first game, especially because Ramondre Stevenson is still going to be the lead back. Now, look, Travion Henderson has the ability to rip off a long run, a long touchdown, and make his week in one play, but Diggs could score a touchdown too. I think Diggs is just much safer this week in a good matchup. I'm going to go Diggs. All right, Juice, what's up? One of our members saying, didn't realize he had Javonte Williams in the best ball in-game lineup. That's pretty nice. CMC is on the injury list for a calf again. Yeah, I talked about him, though. Hopefully not serious there for CMC. All right, and then okay, this one hurts. Yeah, Juice saying, unfortunately, I started Dak with CD. Man, Dak should have had a monster game. Dak played. If you watch that game and you're saying Dak was bad or Dak isn't any good, you don't know what you're talking about. Dak was absolutely phenomenal in that game. What was it? Schoonmaker or Ferguson dropped that easy touchdown. I should say easy, but it's got to be a touchdown. CD dropping those passes at the end. The dude made some unbelievable throws. I saw a stat, and I'm going to talk about him in the buy low video. 110 yards worth of drops and a touchdown worth of drops. Give Dak 110 more yards and a touchdown, and we're talking about Dak totally differently today. His team absolutely let him down this week. Dak is going to be a monster this year. Go buy low on Dak. The Cowboys are going to have to throw the ball a ton. They have no defense. And despite Javonte Williams getting those 2 chintzy touchdowns, which that also is frustrating, that's not going to continue to happen. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton. Dak is going to be a monster, but it's unfortunate it didn't happen in week 1 because it should have. Really should have. His team really let him down. Really let him down there. All right, Ethan, what's up? Next super chat, 12-team rate and start. All right, we got it's a 12-teamer. We got Fields and Njoku. It's a 2 flex. Okay. BTJ, Ladd, Garrett Wilson, Romo Dunze, Leggett, Burden, Gibbs, Henderson, RJ Dobbins, Tanks, Cam Scatterbo. Drop Burden for Rodriguez. I mean, you can, I guess. I don't think anybody's. I mean, I probably would. I don't think nobody's going to pick up Luther Burden. He's not going to do anything this week. He's probably going to be behind Zacchaeus. If Chris Rodriguez does nothing, you could drop him and pick Burden back up next week. As far as rating, I mean, your wide receivers are great. Even though Ladd, yeah, it wasn't great for him last night, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't A.J. Brown bad, at least. That's good. Running backs are solid. I like Fields, although I'd ask, are there other options this week? Love Njoku. I'll give this 8.25. As far as the lineup, I mean, I guess you're starting Fields and Njoku. I assume you already started Ladd, so we're going to go BTJ as the other wide receiver. We're going to go Gibbs. I'm probably going to go Gibbs Dobbins this week at running back. 2 flex. I'm going to flex Garrett Wilson and Romo Dunze. Assuming it's full PPR, it doesn't say. And then his follow-up question, he says he started Ladd already. Should I worry about Keenan and QJ? So I'm going to talk about Ladd on the panic video. I think we got to be a little worried about Keenan. Now, Ladd was great. All the underlying metrics for Ladd were great. He was still the number one. He had 1 less target than Keenan, of course, but his first read percentage was higher. He ran more routes than Keenan. He's still the number 1 wide receiver. But I think we got to be a little worried about Keenan. That maybe he'll limit Ladd's ceiling a little bit because he will take some targets from him. I mean, QJ was good last night for sure, but QJ only had 5 catches. He scored those 2 touchdowns, which is frustrating. But kind of like we know Javonte's not going to score 2 touchdowns every week. We know Quentin Johnson's not going to score 2 touchdowns every week. No one's scoring 32 touchdowns this year, so I'm not worried about that. Some of those touchdowns are going to start going to Ladd, and it's going to be okay. I mean, look, he still had almost 14 fantasy points last night in PPR, despite Keenan and QJ going off. You got to be feeling good about Justin Herbert in the passing game. So I think Ladd will be fine. I'm not panicked on Ladd, but certainly a little worried that Keenan may cap his upside a little bit. All right, one of our members, Python, what's up? A member for 15 months. All right, love it. Thank you. Saying, show us some love and hit that like. Yes, hit that like button. And subscribe if you haven't. Absolutely. If you haven't already. All right, let's keep it moving here. All right, here's Ryan over from the baseball channel. Ridley or Golden in a 20-man? I think I'm still going Ridley here. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about Golden this week against the Lions. I think he'll be okay, but I'd rather just trust Ridley here. And then Juicy Boosie always on saying, yo, play 2. Jacobs, Kyron, or Kamara. I think you got to go Jacobs and Kyron. I have no reason to bench those guys. They're workhorse running backs. They're in great offenses. I have no reason to bench them. Jacobs and Kyron. All right, then another one here. Should I start Debo, Mims, or Ridley? Here I might go Debo. I do wonder about Terry this week, as far as not having camp. Are they going to get Debo a little more involved this week? I think I go Debo here. Oh, and now he's saying play 3 CMC. Okay, it's the same answer. It's just if CMC plays, you play him. If not, you play Kamara. There you go. Same answer. Same answer. All right, let's do a defense question for NMB. 49ers, Jets, or Bengals. Jets get Steelers. Bengals get Browns. Not a good defense. 49ers get Seahawks. I think I go Jets, but I'm not a defensive expert here. So, and then he's saying the amount of people giving up on Hampton already is crazy. Yeah, exactly. Come on, one game, one game. All right, and then we got Jordan with the super chat. Thank you, saying, all right, right here. We got Baker, Chase, DK Diggs, Chase Brown, Kyron, Hawkinson, Chuba. On the bench is Travion Coleman, Godwin, Rachaad White, Corum, DTJ. DTJ? Who's DTJ? Mixon, 10-team full player. Any changes or stick with current lineup? No, I'm sticking with your lineup. I'm not playing any of those guys on the bench. Who's DTJ? Who am I not thinking of? DTJ. Definitely not changing anything here, though. Stick with what you got. Looks good. Looks good. All right, well, let's go to Tom Petty. What's up? Are we sitting CMC? Not if he plays. If he plays, you got to play him. You got to play him. There's too much upside. There's too much upside here. All right. All right, this is feeling pretty good right now. I took Hollywood Brown in the 13th round in my 12-man league. I mean, look, Hollywood Brown, his underlying metrics weren't great. But if he's going to get that kind of targets, it doesn't really matter. He's looking like he's going to be a great late-round pick, at least until Rice gets back. PR's way better at names than me. So we're trying to trade for CMC. You know, I debated putting CMC on the buy low, but I mean, I haven't filmed the buy low. I've just been starting to do like notes from the first couple games. I don't know. I mean, let's see how he looks tomorrow. Obviously, if he looks great tomorrow, then he's not going to be a buy low. But let's see how he looks. I wouldn't go. I would not be trying to trade for him right now, though. I'll tell you that. All right. Yes, Scott's saying hit the like button. Let's go. Hit that like button. All right. We got the Libertarian Sasquatch. What is up? Oh, man, this question again. Harrison or Hunted? This is so close for me. There's like a part of me, like there's a part, like I'm so on the fence with Harrison. Like it's like half of me is like, come on, it's the Saints. He should have a good game. And the other half of me is like, but it's Kyler Murray and the Cardinals and Marvin Harrison. And we're probably just going to get the same offense we got last year, using Harrison the same exact way. Nothing's going to change. And it's like, he's going to be a disappointment again. But it's the Saints. I think I gotta go Harrison here. But man, that one's really tough for me. That one is really tough for me. I'll be honest. All right, and then we got super chat from Cody. Let's see if we can find his question here. Was it up above? Pierre usually does this, so bear with me a little bit here. All right, Cody, I'll look for your question as I scroll down. Let's see what happens here. Oh, here you go. It's right there. All right. Do you feel better about Dak or Drake May? Like obviously if we're talking about this week, Drake May. But I still really like Dak this season. Like, again, Dak was great. They're going to have to throw a ton. He's got Pickens. He's got CD. Hopefully his tight ends will start catching the football. Hopefully CD will start catching the football. I think Dak is going to be a monster this year. I really do. Dak looked absolutely phenomenal. His team absolutely let him down. Big time. Juice, what's up? Should I flex Swift or Ridley PPR? Give me Swift. I like Swift enough this week. He's going to be the workhorse. I mean, Rashawn Johnson's been dealing with an injury. Monon guy, he's going to get every touch. He's going to catch passes. Yeah, it's a tough matchup, but Ridley's got Surtain and the Broncos. Just give me Swift here. Just give me Swift. All right, Tyler Sperry saying, what's up, Tyler? Start CMC or Dobbins. You got to start CMC if he plays. CMC plays, you got to roll him out there. Unless we hear something like he's going to play, but he's going to be like on a snap count or something, which I highly doubt, you got to play. You got to play him. And then really quick, Zaza asking, should I drop Isaac Guerrero? No, don't. I would not be dropping Brian Robinson Jr. or Isaac Guerrero right now. We need to see McCaffrey get through a game healthy and good to go into the next week before I can feel comfortable even thinking about dropping these guys. Because I do think even if CMC is out, I know they said Brian Robinson is the RB2. Like, Isaac Guerrero brings juice that Brian Robinson doesn't have. I don't think it's just going to be like Brian Robinson in the CMC role. I think we're going to see a decent amount of Garendo as well. All right, Joe Hill saying 10-team half PPR running backs are Henry, Pacheco, Najee, Caleb Johnson, Braylon Allen, and Trey Benson. Should I pick up Chris Rodriguez? Yeah, I think you can drop Najee, honestly. Like, who's picking up Najee after last night? The guy got one touch. Like, are people really going to pick up Najee? If you can drop Najee, pick up Chris Rodriguez. Like, if Chris Rodriguez does nothing or if it's like he's barely involved, you can always pick up Najee again next week if you want. I don't think anybody's running out to pick up Najee. Najee looked better. Did I miss something? I thought Najee. How many carries did Najee have last night? Thought I saw he had one carry for 5 yards. How can we say Najee looked better? He had one carry for 5 yards. Can't say Najee looked better. I was gonna say, I thought he only had one carry. Yeah, Hampton was fine. It was a tough defense. The offensive line's working their way here. He'll be better. All right, Texas Pete, what's up? Trade Connor for CMC. Yeah, I don't want to trade for CMC right now. Now, I understand I understand the problem here is that if CMC plays tomorrow and is healthy and is great, you're not going to be able to make this trade. Like, no one's going to give you CMC for Connor anymore. It's too late. But Connor's solid. Connor's good. Like, Connor's healthy. I don't think I want to do this right now. There's just too much risk for CMC right now. I think the hope here is that CMC plays, has an okay game. Maybe Brian Robinson gets like 7 touches, and people are like, "Oh, it's gonna, he's gonna be worked in." And then it presents a buy low opportunity. But right now, I don't really want to go out and try to get CMC. I think it's a little too risky right now. All right, Ayush, what's up? Should I trade Neighbors for Amon-Ra? I mean, it's fine. I prefer Neighbors still. It sounds like he's fine. But if you want to mitigate the risk, you can get Amon-Ra. I don't think it's pretty lateral here. Like, I don't think Neighbors is going to, score 100 more points than Amon-Ra St. Brown or something crazy like that. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be very good this year. So if you're like, hey, I just want to get rid of the risk of Neighbors, I think it's totally fine. Totally fine here. All right, let's do a few. I'm going to hit a few non-super chats real quick. Gary wants to know, should I trade Debo for Rome Odunze? Yeah, I'd prefer Rome Odunze. Definitely. Patriot 141 saying Flex 1, Tracy Jr., Debo. Have to use Thielen as CMC as IE. I'm going Debo here, actually. I don't love Debo, obviously, this season. But, man, Tracy Jr., Andrew Thomas is out for the Giants, so now the offensive line is a mess. Yeah, I don't like the Giants' backfield here. I mean, Tracy will get some catches, which will save his value, but just give me Debo. Just give me Debo. And then we got one of the turd Fergusons. Start Diggs or Debo? Okay, here I'm going Diggs. It's the Raiders. I think Diggs is going to be fine this week. I think he's just a little safer. Give me Diggs. And then John Davis saying, what's up? Jameson Williams, Tank Bigsby. I'm going Jameson. Give me Jameson. All right. Back to the super chats here with Alexis Aguilar. Alexis. How about this is Alexis? Wait. That's not how you pronounce it, right? You told us. Is it Alexi? I apologize. This is why Pierre does this. He's a teacher. He's way better at names than me. Apologies. All right. Stranger Pitts. I think I'm going Pitts this week. I kind of like Pitts' matchup this week. Plus, I mean, I don't know if you're playing these guys off the waiver wire, but if Pitts goes off this week even if Pitts just has a nice game, everybody's going to be tripping over themselves to pick up Pitts next week. So give me Pitts. Are we comfortable with Hunter Henry? Yeah, I think Hunter Henry's fine. He's always got a chance to score a touchdown, but I'd probably still rather have Pitts. Here's an interesting one. So David's saying, do I need to bench CMC for Kenneth Walker? This is interesting because two things here. Number one, they play in the same game, so you can afford to wait. Number two, I really like Kenneth Walker this week. It's a great matchup. I might do this. Unless we hear something like no limitations on CMC, free reign, then I'm probably still going CMC. But if there's any worry here that maybe he's going to be a little limited, why not just play Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker should be great tomorrow. Hold on, I need a little water. Not used to doing all the talking here. All right, we got Kamanakai. 10-man PPR. One flex. Got Baker, Achane, Chase Brown, Jamar, AJ Brown, London, Ingram, Brees, Chuba, Mixon, Rice, Odunze, Travis Hunter. Should I trade for a tight end? No, you're fine with Ingram. Ingram should be fine at tight end. I would not go trading for a tight end if I have Ingram. Fine with that. I'm guessing, does this mean you're flexing? Are you flexing Brees? I'm gonna. You got Achane, Chase Brown, Jamar, AJ Brown. Oh no, it looks like you're flexing London. Okay, wow, it's a good team. Achane, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Drake London. Obviously, you're not feeling good about it right now because AJ Brown totally was terrible. That's a good squad. Well done. But no, you should be fine with Ingram. Should be fine with Ingram. Freehola, what's up? If Worthy is out, is Brown a near must start? I mean, I don't know about must start, but he's gonna be like you guys. I mean, yeah, you probably need him in your lineup, so I guess that is a must start. I mean, look, Travis Kelce scored. Let's be real. I mean, 2 catches, like with Worthy basically missing the entire game, and that wide receiver room. Yeah, he's done. He's done. Yeah, he's going to be pretty much a must start until Rice gets back. Remember, Rice will be back week 7. But in the meantime, yeah, you're going to definitely want to start Hollywood Brown for sure. All right, and then we got Easy Vanya, Ridley, Jacoby Myers, Garrett Wilson, or DJ Moore. Just one of these. I really like Garrett Wilson, actually. I was digging into some numbers today. And last year, the Steelers ran the most single high and the most cover 3 of any defense last year. They've got the same defensive coordinator they've had him the last 3 years. They also allowed the most yards to outside wide receivers. And then you look at Garrett Wilson, he had a 0.22 targets per route run versus 2 high safeties, 0.28 versus single high. Then he had a 0.22 target per route run versus all non-cover 3 coverages, also a 0.28 versus cover 3. I think this is actually low-key a great spot for Garrett Wilson. He's going to get all the targets, however many there are. We've already seen Justin Fields, give DJ Moore a great season. And people forget that year, DJ Moore had to play 4 games with Tyson Bagent, 3 or 4 games with Tyson Bagent, and he still had that great year. And he did nothing with Tyson Bagent, by the way. None of that. He had like 30 yards, like his best game. I'm going Garrett Wilson here. Give me Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson this week. Good luck there. Jordan asking, what are some underdogs? I haven't looked into tomorrow's slate yet, so I don't have any. Let's see. What are some that pop up here real quick? Let's see if we can get some here. Not touchdowns. Yeah, I haven't really jumped in. I talked about some of them on today's video. Wow, Tua's lines up to 245.5 now. Interesting. Yeah, I made underdog picks yesterday. It didn't go well. Try again tomorrow. All right, Johnny 22 Bear, what is up? He's got CMC. Should I start Swift, Warren, or Caleb Johnson? Well, Swift plays Sunday night or Monday night. So you're in a good spot here because you can just wait for CMC. If CMC for some reason does not play, you can just play Swift on Monday night. I wouldn't start Warren. Warren's fine. I would not start Caleb Johnson. No chance. Warren's fine, but I would rather just wait for CMC. If for some reason CMC ends up not playing, you can just wait and play Swift. Jordan asking, would I trade away Connor for Hampton? I don't know about that. I mean, I probably prefer Hampton over the season, but it's not a major thing. Like, Connor is solid. I think Connor's going to be great tomorrow against the Saints. Yeah. I don't know if I would do this. I don't think I would do this. think you might even be able to get Hampton for less after this weekend. Oh, my thing just wigged out. Hold on. Where are we at here? Where are we at? All right, there we go. Suzanne, what's up? Another one of our members. Someone dropped Godwin, worth stashing. He's definitely worth stashing, but let's see what you got. Young, Henry, Walker, Nico Pickens, Kittle, Igbuka on the bench is Fields, Bigsby, JCM, Najee, Pearsall, Wandale Robinson, and Kirk. You can drop Christian Kirk. I mean, you could drop Wandale Robinson too, let's be real. But he's at least playing. Christian Kirk out this week already with a hamstring injury. Probably going to miss multiple weeks, sadly, with that hamstring. As much as I like Christian Kirk, look, at some point you're probably going to want to pick him back up, but no one's going to pick him up. He was a late-round pick. He's hurt. No one's going to pick him up. Yeah, drop Kirk. Drop Kirk. Definitely stash Godwin. All right, GMAC. Which three to start? London, Flowers, DJ Moore, or Jennings? I'm going London, DJ Moore, and Flowers. I feel good about these guys this week. High floors, good ceilings. In the case of London, massive ceiling. Going with those three. Good luck. Brewski saying, can't get Draftline to work to sync my Yahoo League. Let me post our Discord. Hold on, guys. Post the link to our Discord server. We have a Draftline support channel in there. Go in there. Discord link. Join the Discord for free. Get in there. Go to the Draftline support, and we can figure it out for you. All right. Walter saying, who should I drop for Rice? He's got Benson, Godwin, and Mooney. Drop Mooney. I'll drop Mooney. Yeah. What are we really getting from Mooney? All right, Dennis Johnson saying, rate my 10-team PPR. QBs are Dak and Fields. Running backs are Gibbs, Walker, Harvey, Bigsby, Charbonnet. Wide receivers are Nico, London, McLaurin, Ridley, Tet, Pearsall with Kittle at tight end. All right, so you're good. You're good at QB, despite what happened with Dak in the stat sheet this week. You're good at QB. You're certainly good at tight end. You're very, very good at running back. Very good at wide receiver. I mean, it's a 10-teamer, but this team is still stacked. I mean, Gibbs and Walker, Nico, London, Terry, Ridley, Tet, Kittle, 8.75. Well done. Well done here. What do you mean we can't overreact? It's only week one. You got to overreact. That's what it's all about. It's all about overreacting to week one. I was actually looking this morning. You know the top two scoring wide receivers after week one last year were Jaden Reed and Allen Lazard. Let that sink in. Jordan saying, how big of a game were you expecting from Collins in London? Yeah, big games. Big games from both. I'm expecting big games from both. Big games from both. Chief Perp, what's up? All right, he's got Quinton and Keenan are on his waivers. Would you take them over any of these guys? Myers, Devonta Smith, or Igbuka? No, I don't think so. Not over those guys. Not over those guys. No. I definitely want to pick them out, especially Keenan if I can, but not over those guys. Oh, Python saying DTJ is Dante Thornton. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him this week. Feel like he might be a preseason hype. We'll see. I'm going to put this one up because it's interesting. Plays in a league where the regular season is 13 weeks. He won't change it to 14. So they should have paid attention to the rules. Did the 49ers have a week 14 bye week, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, week 14. That's ridiculous. Well, my thoughts are I hope you have another running back for week 14. Or maybe you could trade CMC. But I mean, if everybody in your league knows that week 14 is the first round of the playoffs, they may not do it. Or, my other advice would be get the bye. But yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? All right, Niner fan 13 with the Michael Myers avatar. Nice. All right, PPR, flex, Sutton, Myers, or Swift. I think I still go Sutton here. L'Jarius Sneed is questionable. If L'Jarius Sneed is out, it makes me really like Sutton. I think I'll still go Sutton. I do like Myers, though, and Swift, but I think Sutton's the play here. And then Tracy or Pearsall, I'm going Pearsall. Again, like I said, Andrew Thomas out for the Giants. Not good for that offensive line. I mean, yeah, Russell check it down to him some, but is that really what we're looking for? Just pass catching? Catch some passes? I'll go Pearsall here. Never had it so good. Would you drop Kirk for Schultz or Auden? Yeah, if you need them. Now, Auden, no. I mean, I don't even know if Auden's going to play this week. Schultz, sure, but only if you need him. If you don't need Schultz, then no reason to do this. All right, keep moving along here. All right, we got Royland. Herbert to the moon this year. He might be. You know what's frustrating about this? So we do our league winner video every year where we pick one player from each position. And I had Justin Herbert. And then, like, days before we were going to film, Rashawn Slater out for the season. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't put Herbert on there. I'm a little nervous now. Without Slater. Man, now I regret not putting Herbert on there. Because one thing I talked about with Herbert up until the Slater injury is that they're going to let him run more. We saw that last night. They let him run more. But, man, I didn't expect him to look that good throwing against the Chiefs, especially the Chiefs have had his number. So you got to feel good about Herbert right now. For sure. All right, Jason, what's up? Pick 3 to start and half PPR. Tet, Golden, Diggs, Pearsall, Tank. I think you got to start Tet. And I think I go Diggs and Pearsall. I'm not ready to put Tank in my lineup if I can help it. See how that Jags backfield plays out. And again, Golden, it's a tough matchup against that Lions secondary. I'm going Tet, Diggs, and Pearsall. All right, keep going here. What's up, Andrea? What's going on? Good to see you. All right, this is a good question. Sorry, I don't know. Fias Kane. Not sure how you pronounce that. Apologies. Do running backs have more upside than wide receivers? I have 2 flex. I don't know who to prioritize. It depends. If it's a PPR league, no. Wide receivers have more upside. Like those huge 35, 40-point games usually come from wide receivers. Sure, sometimes you get a running back scores like, 3 touchdowns in a game or something. But when a wide receiver has, 10 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns, that's when you get those monster games. Like, yeah, a running back can have 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, but they don't have the 10 catches to go with it, usually. So running backs, in PPR, wide receivers have more upside. If it's non-PPR, then definitely running backs. So that being said, if it's close, if it's like, I don't know if I should flex this running back or wide receiver, if it's PPR, I'm usually going to go wide receiver. Now, if it's not close, if it's like I have a really good running back and a okay wide receiver, I'm still going to flex the running back, of course. All right, let's see. Let's keep it going. Just joking and token. If CMC is out, is Brian Robinson a good play? Yeah, definitely. Let's not get carried away here. Brian Robinson is not. He's fine. He's good. But in that offense, yeah, he'll be a good play. He'll definitely be a good play. All right, Sam Piazza, what's up? Half PPR needs a flex. Pearsall or Ridley? Give me Pearsall. Again, Ridley with Surtain, the Broncos defense. I'd like to avoid that if I can. Just give me Pearsall. I still like Pearsall, even with Jennings. All right, Ernest Morrison, 10-man, half PPR, 2 flex. Starters are Purdy, Bucky Irving, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, Kincaid, Flex, AJ Brown and Debo. So replace Purdy with May and Pollard with Trayvon Henderson. I'm going to start Pollard over Henderson again. It's Henderson's first game. They're probably going to give Ramondre more touches. Sure, Henderson could rip off a long run. Henderson could find the end zone. I mean, anybody could do that. It's on the field, decent amount. But Pollard's going to get all the volume in that Titans offense. I'm going with Pollard. Purdy and May is close because I do really like May against the Raiders, but I've been saying my concern for May is like they just play a very slow, very boring game. Not a lot of points in this game. I think I'd still rather have Purdy this week. So I'm going Purdy and Pollard here. Thank you for that. All right, another one from Juice. Diggs, Ridley, or Waddle for the flex. I think I'm going to go Waddle here. Again, another one. I'll pull up the stat. I was looking into this today. So Colts allowed the fourth most points to outside wide receivers. And I know we think like, well, Waddle's a slot wide receiver, but they haven't been using him that way with Mike McDaniel. He's been a mostly outside wide receiver. Also, teams have been play a ton of too high against the Dolphins to mitigate that speed. You look at it last year, Waddle 2.04 yards per route run versus too high. Tyreek Hill only 1.5. So I like Waddle this week. I think this is a good matchup for Waddle. I'm going to go Waddle here. Let's go with Waddle. All right, just because you got Big Chris in your name, Big Chris Stockswami, got a lot of Pearsall, that's good, and Pratt Freiermuth. Not sure that's so good. Is there another tight end you could pick up? Got to be another tight end out there, right? Somebody else you could pick up off waivers? I would go another tight end. All right, where are we at here? Coming up on the hour mark. All right, before we get to some more questions, trying to stall for Pierre here a little bit. Let me remind you, if you want to get your questions answered, you can go on to Draft Lane, download it from, you see it scrolling down there, download it from Google Play in the App Store, sign up for free, sync your Yahoo Sleeper account, your leagues. We can see your actual rosters. You can have start sit, waiver wire trades, anything you want in there. Plus, if you sign up and you use promo code ENDGAME, we're going to give you a $10 credit that you can use to ask questions on there to try it out this week. Also, don't forget, on Underdog right now, you got gimme picks going. Used to be really good at this. You got gimme picks going right now. If you're a new customer and you sign up with promo code ENDGAME, you'll get gimme picks. Plus, you play $5, you do a $5 pick 'em. They're going to put $5 in your account. Win or lose, you're going to get $50. Sorry, they're not going to put $5 in your account, give you $50. Also, you still get the deposit match, 50% up to $1,000. So a great time. Get those picks in. Another way to have fun playing fantasy football. All right, let's keep it going here. Keep going. All right. We need to stop with this. Phillips saying the man has bilateral Achilles tendonitis. No, he does not have bilateral Achilles tendonitis anymore. That was last year. He has a calf injury. It's completely unrelated. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up right here because this needs to stop. Let me see here. Plus, I'm trying to stall for Pierre, so this is a good time to stall. Where is it here? All right, now, of course. Okay, here we go. All right, here it is. How do I show this? All right, here we go. That looks terrible. All right, so it says right there, Christian McCaffrey's on the injury report with a calf issue. The good news, it's not the Achilles tendonitis that ended his season last year. The bad news, calf injuries can linger and can still cost some games. Now, technically, the Achilles tendonitis did not end his season last year, but the Achilles tendonitis is not a thing anymore. Now, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be concerned, but it's not Achilles tendonitis. All right, another one from Jordan Dumas, super chat. Let's see if I can find your question here, Jordan. There it is. All right, would you trade DK, Keon Coleman, and Rachaad White for Sutton and Myers? Yes, I would definitely do that. Definitely do that. I mean, I prefer Sutton to DK. I mean, Keon Coleman, Rachaad White, what are we really getting from those guys? Yes, I would absolutely do that. Make that move. Make that move. Jordan Olson, DK or Terry this week? This is a tough one because I'm not really high on either of these guys this week. Terry, I've talked about the fact that coming off that extended missed camp, what are we really going to get from Terry McLaurin? Is he going to be? Remember last year, CeeDee Lamb, very slow start to the season. Brandon Ayuk, very slow start to the season. Also, you look at it last year, the Giants ran the third most single high of any team. They had the same defensive coordinator coming back. Last year, 0.25 targets per route run versus two high, only 0.21 versus single high. Also, in the two games against the Giants last year, his two worst games, 6 catches for 22 yards, 2 catches for 19 yards. I'm not feeling good about Terry this week. That being said, I don't necessarily love DK Metcalf either, but I might honestly go DK Metcalf here. I might just go DK Metcalf. I'm a little nervous for Terry this week. A little nervous for Terry. All right, let's keep it going. All right. Aaron Dite asking Dalton Kincaid or Brenton Strange at tight end. I'm going to go Kincaid. I'm going to take a chance here. I like Strange, but, with Hunter, with BTJ, are we really going to see a ton of Strange this week? I'll take a chance on Kincaid. If Kincaid, because here's the thing, if Kincaid's no good, you can probably get Strange next week if you want. All right, keep it going here. Oh, and my thing just wig. I don't know why. Every now and then my thing wigs out and scrolls way down. I'd have to scroll back up. Sorry, guys. We did that one, I think. Yep, we did that one. We did that one. Did that one, that one. All right, caught back up here. Here we go. Here we go. All right, back to Juice. Another one. Waddle really. Didn't I do this one already? I said with Waddle. I said Waddle. I did that one. Waddle. All right, Anthony. What's up, Anthony? What do you think of Hollywood Brown's performance? And you think he's at least a solid he's definitely a solid flex for the next 5 weeks. I mean, we still don't know about Worthy. So, again, my understanding is, depending on the injury, it could be 3 to 4 weeks, or it could be the season. Again, I'm not a doctor. That's my understanding. But for however long Worthy is out, yeah, he's definitely at least a flex. Again, if you look at his underlying, his separation score and things like that, it was not very good. But that being said, who else? Juju, Tyquan Thornton, maybe some big plays. Kelsey, yeah, he's going to get a ton of targets. So certainly, if Worthy's out the entire season, yeah, at least a flex, if not more. All right, back to Ernest. What's up? Should I replace Debo with Tet in the flex? Yeah, I'm really high on Tet this week. I'm going Tet. Jags last year allowed the third most points to outside wide receivers and the most yards on horizontal breaking routes. And when you look at Tet as a prospect, man, he was awesome on that in-breaking dig route. I think he's going to light the Jags up this week. I'm going Tet. I like Tet. All right, let's do a tight end question. Oh, I guess it's not tight end. It's is that Romeo Dobbs, Tucker Kraft, or Golden? I still go Golden here. I do like Kraft as a tight end, but I don't think I can start him over Golden. I'm going Golden. All right, Rodney Woods, what's up? It's PPR. Question mark QB Goff. Running backs are Henry, Genti. Wide receivers, Terry, Garrett Wilson, Sutton, and Njoku. Flexing, Judy, Pearsall on the bench. Ollie Gordon, Higbee, Caleb Johnson. Tua, Deontay Thornton, 12 team. You know what? I'm going Tua over Goff. This is a tough spot for Goff on the road in Green Bay. I like Tua this week against the Colts. I'm actually going to go Tua over Goff, personally. Let's go Tua. But everything else looks good. Like, I'm not starting Ollie Gordon. Not Higbee. Tyler Higbee from the Rams. Not starting Caleb Johnson. Not starting Jordan Mason over those guys. Strange. No. Everything else looks good. Let's go Tua, though. I'll go Tua. All right, Kyle Maddox wants to know, is it time to panic on Pacheco as RB2 in a 12-team league? I mean, if he's your RB2, I think you got to be a little nervous because let me see the notes here. I put it in my notes. Hold on, guys. So I was looking at fantasy points this morning. He only had 5 more snaps than Kareem Hunt. He only ran 2 more routes than Kareem Hunt. This looks like a split. You know, it's funny because the whole offseason I wasn't really on Pacheco, and then at the end I was like starting to buy into like maybe Pacheco being the guy, but he was not the guy last night. Yeah, I think you got to be a little nervous here. Also, 18-teamer went well. Thanks for the tip. Got CD, K9, JT, and Dak. Nice. Although hopefully, Dak wasn't great, but he'll be better. Dak will be better. For an 18-teamer, that's really good. All right, Henry. What's up, Henry? Just dropped Ollie Gordon for Judkins. Yeah, okay. So some other big news here. I didn't talk about this. Judkins finally signed his deal today. Now, the Browns are being given a 2-week exemption, meaning he will not take a roster spot for the next 2 weeks. Now, they could add him to the roster at any time during those 2 weeks. Of course, they would have to cut somebody. So we're not going to see him anytime soon here. There still is a chance that the NFL suspends him. I know there were no criminal charges, but the NFL doesn't care. They could still suspend him. But yeah, I definitely think he's a good stash. I don't know if I want to necessarily drop Ollie Gordon, but I think, I prefer Judkins long term, so I think it's fine. It's fine. All right, Tom, what's up? Judy Odunze Diggs, full PPR pick 2. Oh, this is tough. I think you got to go Judy number 1 here. Odunze Diggs is tough. Let me go to my sheet here and see if I can find a tiebreaker here between Odunze and Diggs. Yeah. Yeah, this is tough. I think I'm gonna go Diggs against the Raiders. He should be the number 1 target there. Odunze, I think he'll still be like the 1B with DJ Moore. I'm going to go Diggs. So I'm going to go Judy and Diggs here. But that one is tough. That one is definitely tough. Yeah, and like Philip says, he's playing the Raiders. Yeah. There we go. Another vote for Diggs. All right, so let's talk about this one again. Jay Money saying, thinking Keenan could be a wide receiver 2 all season with Herbert. And this is what worries me a little bit for Ladd McConkey, is that Herbert and Keenan obviously have that connection in that report. I mean, so does Herbert and Ladd. It's not like, Ladd's a rookie anymore. Yeah, I mean, Keenan, he's going to be involved. Now, I don't expect Keenan to have as big a game as he had last night every week. Because, again, I mean, you look at that game last night. I mean, he's at 9.7 yards per catch. It's 68 yards on 7 catches. I mean, yeah, he's going to need a ton of volume. And he's not going to score a touchdown every week, of course. He's going to need a ton of volume. But I think, I would probably look at him more like a wide receiver 3, with some upside. But yeah, definitely solid. I think he'll be solid every week for sure. Billy Green wants to know, start Pearsall tomorrow over Ridley? Yes, I would start Pearsall over Ridley. This is probably going to be the 1 week where I'm not going to say yes to Ridley a ton. Not going to say yes to him a ton. So first of all, Big Chris said back here, I didn't pull it up, but this is crazy. Where was it? It says something about like his 85. Okay. Flacco, Robinson, Gibbs, Igbuka, Pearsall, and Joko Achan, Steelers. One of 85. Are you in 85 fantasy leagues for real? 85 fantasy leagues? That's insane. How do you keep up with that? And then he says right here, where is it? Where was it? Just had it up. Right here. Over 300 different combinations between DraftKings tournaments. So he's got 85. Okay, 85 in DraftKings. Okay, that's not as crazy. People I'm worried about are Muth and Pearsall. I wouldn't be worried about Pearsall. I would be worried about Muth. But look, if Muth is like, if you drafted Muth, we're drafting Muth as like a tight end 3, it should be fine. Should be fine. All right. Let's answer this one from Jared. Garrett Wilson or Matthew Golden? Definitely going Garrett Wilson here. All right, here's an interesting one from Steve saying a guy in his league is Hurts and Burrow. He's got Dak and May. Try trading Dak and Pollard for Burrow. I don't think so. I think you're going to be fine with Dak and May. Why do you guys all have 2 QBs? Is it a super flex league? I mean, if it's super flex, maybe. But if it's a 1 QB league, I don't think so. All right, Juice wants to know Sutton or Swift at the flex. I'm going Sutton. Especially if L'Jarius Sneed is out. If L'Jarius Sneed plays, it makes it not as exciting for Sutton, but I still go Sutton, especially in full PPR. All right, keep it going here. Oh, man. Gary Miles saying he's only got room for 1 Keenan or Hollywood. I think it's got to be Keenan because we know Rice is coming. Again, we don't know the severity of Worthy's injury, and we know Rice is coming back week 7. Keenan's going to be the wide receiver 2 there, so I think it's got to be Keenan. All right, back to Chief Perp. Another one, different league. Keenan and Quentin also on waivers here. Would you swap for Diggs or Mooney? I think I would drop Mooney for Keenan. I mean, they're both wide receiver 2s in their offense, but I'd rather have Keenan in the Chargers offense. I'm not dropping Diggs. No way. But you could drop Mooney for Keenan. You can do that. All right, Steven, what's up? Full PPR. Yeah, I hate the Surtain matchup as well. Ridley, Tillman, Bateman, or Hawk. Was offered CMC for Genty. Yeah, I would just keep Genty right now as well. It's too much risk for CMC. Can I really? I really do like Tillman this week, but I can't pretend like Tillman isn't risky. I mean, I have both these guys as kind of like flex starts this week. Tillman does have a way better matchup, though. You know, let's just do it. Let's just go Tillman over Ridley this week. Let's not get carried away here. I still really like Ridley rest of the season. All right, Johnny 22 Bear again. Got Genty, Jacobs, or Pollard. Only one of these? I think it's... Oh, man. How are you not able to start Genty and Jacobs? What's going on here? Jacobs Lion, Genty's Pats. Oh, man. I mean, I probably feel a little safer about Jacobs just because we've seen this guy in the NFL. We know he's good. We know he's in an offense that can give him touchdowns. I might lean Jacobs slightly this week, but how is this a choice? How do you have to choose only one of these? How are you not able to start Genty and Jacobs? Is it like a 1 running back league? And if so, why'd you draft both? Anthony, what's up? Just got back from travel. Missed yesterday's game. Do you think Holly Brown? Oh, yeah, you already asked me this. You already asked this. Yes. I already answered this one. Yes. All right. Bold prediction from Raziel. CMC out by end of first quarter. I mean, it's possible. It's certainly possible. We can't act like there's no risk. All right. Nathan Flagg saying, who should I start at flex? Cortland Sutton or Travion Henderson? Give me Sutton. Again, let's just see. Like, I mean, look what we just got from Hampton last night. He was the unquestioned lead back. Now I know the Raiders are not as good of a run defense as the Chiefs, but Henderson's not going to be the bell cow. He's not going to get every touch here. Ramondre is going to be involved. Ramondre is probably going to get more touches than Travion Henderson this week. Let's go Sutton. All right, Derek Gonzalez. This is an interesting question. Should I drop Justin Fields and pick up Trevor Lawrence? I don't really want to drop Justin Fields, but I do want to play Trevor Lawrence over Justin Fields this week. If you have to drop Justin Fields to pick up Trevor Lawrence, like you have no other choice, fine, do it. Because I doubt, like if Justin Fields doesn't have a good game this week, nobody's going to run out and pick up Justin Fields next week. So if you have to, sure. But if you have somebody else on your bench that's not very good that you could drop to get Trevor Lawrence instead, I would do that. But I definitely want to start Trevor Lawrence over Fields this week. All right, we got to talk about this. AJ Brown again. I'm very mad at myself for putting AJ Brown on the Booms video after not drafting AJ Brown at all this year, saying AJ Brown is a terrible pick in the second round because yes, he has those nice games, but he also disappears for weeks. They don't throw it enough. They're a run-first team. And then I went and put him on the Booms because it was the Cowboys. I'm so mad at myself. But here's the thing. Number one, he did not win a single route last night or Thursday night, according to fantasy points data. That has never happened in his career. Number two, if you watch A.J. Brown in that game, if you go back and watch and you just watch A.J. Brown, he is not running at full speed. Remember, he had that hamstring injury. I'm guessing he's not even close to 100% right now. So this is tough. This is tough. And then you combine that with the fact that he's on a team that even though the Cowboys kept pace with the Eagles and scored points on them, still only attempted like 22 passes in that game. This is not, I mean, it's just like A.J. Brown's a great player. It's just not a great situation. So I think you got to be very, very worried about A.J. Brown right now. All right, another one from Ernest. Would you keep Debo in the flex or use Tet or Diggs? Give me Tet. I love Tet this week. You know, I said on the wide receiver start sit, I was like, I really want to put him in the strong tier, but he's a rookie, so I should probably, forget all that. I'm putting him in the strong tier. I think it's a great matchup. I think he's going to have a great first game. Going Tet. Carl, what's up? Just getting on. Dropped Scattaboo for Brian Robinson Jr. No, I think Brian Robinson Jr. is a must-add player right now. Obviously, this could change by tomorrow night if Christian McCaffrey goes out there, plays the whole game, looks great, is healthy. This could all change. But I think right now you have to add Brian Robinson Jr. Like, what if we wake up tomorrow morning or something and they're like, Christian McCaffrey's not playing? You're going to be happy you have Brian Robinson Jr. He's a must-add right now. Randy McRanderson the second? Currently flexing Jameson Williams and Pearsall. Should I consider Dobbins? No. I would go with Pearsall and Jameson, assuming it's PPR, of course. If it's non-PPR, then you could consider those guys. All right, RJ wants to know, who should I flex? Debo, Igbuka, Travion Henderson, or Shakir? I'm going to go Igbuka. I like Igbuka as well. It's a good matchup. I think I have some notes on Igbuka. Let me see. Nope, no notes on Igbuka. But this is a good spot for Igbuka against that Falcons secondary. I like him this week. Let's go Igbuka. All right, back to Ryan here. Marvin Harrison, Chuba Hubbard, Travion Henderson, DJ Moore, Ted McMillan for flex. 6-man shallow league. I'm going to go, man, I really like Ted, but I think think Chuba's just safer, and he's got as much upside. Let's go Chuba. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. He made it. What's up, Pierre? Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry for the long delay. I think every football fan can relate. Games are great in person. There's nothing worse than trying to get out of a parking lot of a dome with 50,000 people at the same time. It doesn't always go well. But I made it. We're intact. So here we are.
Here we are. And you're just in time for Python. Remember this. It's a tradition from last year. We got to bring back the top 3 favorite QBs this week. I'm gonna go. Are we okay? It's just like yards, right? We're just talking about yards, right? We're not talking about like fantasy points. Isn't that what I remember?
Yeah, we didn't do fantasy points. He was talking passing yards. I don't remember why, but that was the thing. So just yards.
I'm gonna go Burrow. Obvious. I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence. We're just talking passing yards here. Just passing yards.
Just yards.
Brock Purdy.
Purdy, all right. I'm gonna go maybe slightly surprising. Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow, too obvious. And you already know the third one. There's no way I'm backing down now. Joe Flacco, let's go.
Slinging Joe Flacco.
All in, at least for 1 week.
All right. I'm guessing you probably can't see the chats from earlier.
I can see from 8:07. 6:07 your time.
Okay. Well, let's do this one real quick. Crisis King, always on here. Sutton, Tracy, or Golden as a flex?
Sutton, Tracer, Golden. Well, we don't know if it's PPR. I guess we're assuming PPR, yeah. I think Sutton, right? We've been saying you're pretty high on Sutton this week and not a bad matchup. And, Tracy is fine. Tracy for floor, but I think Sutton is due for a pretty good game.
Well, I've been saying one thing, L'Jarius Sneed questionable. That will definitely impact things.
That's right.
Also, Andrew Thomas is out, which means the Giants are now rolling into this week with the worst offensive line in the NFL. Look, Tracy could catch like 5 or 6 dump offs maybe, but is that really what we want?
Yeah, and that's the thing is he'll have a floor because, as we know, Russ is captain check down, and he'll get more receptions. But yeah, exactly. Where's the ceiling? We want upside.
All right, and I'm just picking this one because I like the name. It's kind of funny. Not Mel Gibson, Mal Gibson.
That's the bad Mel Gibson. Is there a good one these days?
I was gonna say.
Start one. Pollard or Dunze or Hawkinson. I'm guessing this is a flex question. Well, I would say the same thing if we were assuming this is PPR. I think you got to go Dunze. If it happens to be non, you would go Pollard. I mean, I don't envision in week 1 that you're wanting to flex a tight end.
No, not flexing Hawkinson. Yeah, I'm going to Dunze as well.
Yeah, I'm big on Hawkinson, and especially in this week because remember Addison's out. But yeah, Odunze, we just hear nothing but Ray reviews and more hype. The other day is like he's the number 1 receiver here. I mean, let's see it first, but yeah, I'm back all in on Odunze this year.
All right, are you caught up? Are we with the chats now? Are we caught up?
Let's see. I see my first super chat I see is John Wickering. What's up, John?
Yes.
Welcome back, John.
Yes.
All right, so we'll do that one.
Yep.
All right, and re-up the membership for another 10 months. Appreciate you as always. Flexing here, Pearsall, Swift, Golden, Bigsby, or Skadaboo.
Well, I mean, you can't Skadaboo. I mean, I can barely even think about Tracy, let alone Skadaboo.
Right.
Full PPR. I think oh man. I do like Swift this week, but it is a tough matchup. I think I'm still going Pearsall here. I know Jennings is playing, but I'm not like completely out on Pearsall.
Yeah, I mean, you have to back off a little compared to before Jennings was out there. But again, Jennings hasn't been out there in the practice field too long. I know it's not a big deal, whatever. Honestly, the big thing, and I wasn't here for the convo, was CMC, but again, he's playing, right? Apparently he's playing. He's fine.
Well, it's not official, but Rappaport said he's likely to play.
Likely to play. What if it flares up, right? What if they're careful with him? And what if it's Shanahanigans again and he's out there for like one play and that's it, right? They're still going to need to pass a fair amount, I think. I'm still big enough on Pearsall. I'm starting Pearsall out of this group. Again, guys, it's not like you got to start a receiver, but when you have a good receiver versus you're not sure running back, I like Swift this week as well, but I think Pearsall is going to still have a good game. So this one, okay, well, you had already done this. This one, I don't know if you knew, it was a super chat. Sutton Tracy or Golden.
Oh,
so
no,
so thank you.
Didn't. All right, thank you.
We did it anyways. All right, here is Z. What? ZKZV. I'm not sure if that's supposed to mean something. Zgs. Keep killing it. I've been following you guys for some years now. Awesome. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Won my league last year, in part your start sets. All right, so just a shout out. Apparently, I don't see a question.
We'll take it. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Jules Henley. Jacoby or Diggs?
All right, this one is actually tough for me. Now, I will say Christian Gonzalez is out.
Yeah.
I do think helps Jacoby. Diggs gets the Raiders, though. But I think with Christian Gonzalez out, I think I'm going to go Jacoby here.
Yeah, Diggs is he has been questionable, right? He's been battling a little nagging injury. It's not going to keep him out or anything. But, maybe that's just something that sways you anyways toward Jacoby. But look, Jacoby, as I said, kind of like that he didn't get paid because now he's got motivation, right? He's got to prove to the team he's worth that contract. He's got to prove to maybe to other teams, right? Jacoby in this game, he's back. He's playing. He's the number one receiver there. What is up, Anthony? So Jake Ferguson didn't do a whole lot. Do you think Hunter Henry is a better play this week, but also going forward?
I mean, Hunter Henry's going to be both these guys are going to kind of be what they are. Hunter Henry's going to be a fine play in good matchups. He does have a good matchup this week against the Raiders where where it's like, hey, he could score a touchdown this week. I think Ferguson's probably going to be the preferred option most weeks. Yeah, Ferguson, CD, it should have been the Cowboys should have won that game. I mean, honestly, I've talked about it a few times tonight how Dak played great and his team just completely let him down. Like CD dropping those passes. Was it Ferguson or Schoonmaker who dropped that touchdown? I mean, I know they were going to get hit, but dude, this is the NFL. Like, you got to bring that ball in and take the contact. Like, this is the NFL, dude. Yeah. This isn't me with my friends where I'm like, don't hit me. You know what I mean? This is the NFL. You're getting paid millions of dollars. You got to make that catch and take that hit.
That's part of the contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Dak really got let down by his team this week. So I think I would probably prefer Ferguson most weeks. Cause again, the Cowboys, they're going to have to throw it 35, 40 times every week. They're going to have no choice. Patriots, it's going to be Hunter Henry's going to be more matchup dependent.
Yeah, and ultimately, I don't think you can say either of these guys are going to be great fantasy tight ends without a touchdown each week. They still kind of depend. They're not getting huge target volume, either one. So, and how do you predict touchdowns? You don't. You just go based on matchup. So it's hard to say Hunter Henry wouldn't be a better play this week, because Ferguson didn't do much. But going forward, it's going to be matchup dependent, really. Ferguson is in a better offense for sure, but Hunter Henry might be a bigger part of his offense because the Patriots are, less deep at receiver. But between the two, I'd still prefer Ferg, I think. All right, it's Jordan. Let's just get this one out of the way. Defense question. Defenses, to keep rostered or streaming the best option? I mean, come on.
Yeah, there are no defenses I want to keep rostered. I'm gonna stream the best option. I will say, if you can find a defense that has 2 or 3 good matchups in a row, That's always nice because then you don't have to think about defense for a few weeks. So if it's close, if you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should play like this defense or this defense this week, but this defense has like 3 good matchups in a row, and this defense plays somebody really good next week, go with the other one. But other than that, I'm not keeping a defense.
No. Even Philly, great defense. Did they look great on Thursday night?
How many sacks did Dak take?
No,
zero.
Exactly.
0 sacks.
The Jalen Carter incident, yeah, okay, sure, but that's one guy. He's not like Micah Parsons. He's not like Dominican Sue or something. Like, come on, like you got to have more than one guy. So, anyways, just stream.
Philly's defense had to do nothing this week because they got no sacks, no turnovers. Oh no, they got the fumble, the Miles Sanders fumble. That's it.
Yeah, oh, that's true. But yeah, just stream. Rodney Woods wants to rate the team, upgrade any position. Oh, okay. That means we got to look for the team. Let's see where the team is.
The team is probably way up there. Let me see, because he asked a question a long time ago.
Okay, Rodney, we'll see if we can.
Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Oh, there you go. All right. Goff, and then Henry, Genty, McLaurin, Wilson, Sutton, and Njoku. Judy at the flex. Pearsall also on the bench. We got Ollie Gordon, Higbee. Really? Higbee?
I know. I said that too.
Caleb Johnson, Jordan Mason, Brenton Strange, and Tua and Thornton to 12-teamer.
It's a good team. Henry Genty is great. McLaurin, Wilson, Sutton is good at wide receiver. Judy Pearsall as your flexes is solid, and Njoku at tight end is great. Bench is interesting. Ollie Gordon, Jordan Mason. Not a lot of wide receivers on the bench, but that's because you're flexing them, I guess. I don't know if we need Higbee. I don't think we need Higbee.
We definitely don't need Higbee. We already have a backup tight end on the bench. I just noticed we've got 3 tight ends. Come on.
You don't need 3 tight ends, especially when your third one is Higbee. It's a good team. Like Henry and Genty, if they're good, you should be solid there. I think between Tua and Goff, you should be fine at QB. I wish my wide receivers were a little stronger in PPR. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, well, I think the starting lineup is really good. Obviously, you went double RB early. The bench is the iffy part. So, yeah, it's like an 8. All right, Chief Perp, what's your take on the RB room in Cleveland? And Judkins, it's a fish, right? He's actually a Cleveland Brown now.
He's actually a Cleveland Brown. He signed. I talked about this a little bit. They gave him, the NFL's given him a 2-week exemption, so he does not take up a roster spot for 2 weeks. They can add him to the roster sooner than that if they want. But they have to add him to the roster within the next 2 weeks. So he can be out there practicing, but he doesn't count towards the 53-man roster is what I'm saying. But they only have 2 weeks for that. There is still a chance that the NFL does suspend him. I think if they do suspend him, it'll only be like 2 or 3 games. I don't think it'll be like 6 like Rashee Rice. My take on the running back room is Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson will be whatever. And then I think at some point Judkins will be the guy there. He'll probably be the guy you do want in Cleveland. But again, I still worry about this offense for a running back. We're talking about probably a not very good offense, a team playing from behind a ton, team that can't really commit to the run. But if Judkins, I think, is the guy you want in Cleveland, yes.
Yeah, and my take on that is, and look, I did say on the stash video that he's half owned, almost exactly half owned. A lot of people did draft and stash, and some people didn't. But now I think there's going to be people who spend way too much fab on him. Like, he's going to be a stud. You have to be in a good position as a running back to be able to put up numbers, So, yeah, I think it might devolve into an ugly committee. Late season potential for Judkins to break away, but yeah, it's people might be overly optimistic here. I think that's what's going to happen. Luis Perez. All right. Odunze or Ridley got Tillman too.
Yeah, I'm just going to start Odunze here. I'm not starting Ridley. I'm not 100% out on Ridley this week, but I'm like 90% out on Ridley. Like if your choices are Ridley or some not very good players, yeah, I'll still play Ridley. But you got a Dunze here. You got Tillman. Let's go with Dunze.
Yeah, look, they're not that many. We know this, right, from doing this for years. The whole shadow thing, right, where a good DB is going to shadow a receiver. It doesn't happen hardly that much anymore. You know, the frequency in which that happens just seems to have dropped, right? Those teams just don't do that anymore. Like it's one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Like they just don't. But when it happens and is a really good elite corner, which it feels like there are just less of those as well. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like there's just less shutdown corners. He's one of them. We saw with what we thought. Here's the problem: is like, okay, let's bring this up. George Pickens. Oh, we didn't know that Quinion Mitchell was going to be all over him, and so you see what happens, right? That's what happens. He still almost got a big play, but yeah, you can sit Ridley this week. Decal, 14-teamer: Henderson, Mason, Higgins, or Thornton. Are you interested in Higgins now with Kirk out?
Yeah, I assume that's Jaden Higgins and not T. Higgins. Oops. I'm not any more interested in Higgins with Kirk out. I think Jalen Noel is just going to get more run out of the slot, which is good for him. Higgins' role is his role. Like he wasn't. It's not like Kirk was in the Higgins role. But I think here I'll take a chance on Henderson here. I've been saying no to Henderson a lot tonight because it's like Henderson or Tony Pollard. You know, Henderson or Chuba Hubbard. Like guys that we know are going to be the number one running backs for their team. But here, Mason, Higgins, Thornton, these guys are all, I mean, Mason, yeah, but he's not going to be the running back one. I'll take a chance on Henderson here.
Yeah, and again, we'll assume if it's PPR, that's the difference here with Mason. He's not going to have a big role as a pass catcher. That's what Aaron Jones is good at. You know, Henderson will have a role as a pass catcher. So I think that gives the edge to him. So, yeah, that's the other thing too. Exactly what you said. You probably already mentioned this. Higgins isn't the guy who really gets bumped up the depth chart with Kirk. It's Noel, which kind of makes me happy because I really like Jalen Noel. You know, in college and then right after the draft, I really wish that they would have only picked one of those guys, but oh well.
It makes me happy too because I drafted a lot of Jalen Noel in underdog. So,
yeah. All right. Anthony Mella. All right. Speaking of Judkins, one guy who is suspended, one guy who may be suspended. Trade Judkins for Addison. I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'd probably take Addison here in that Vikings offense.
I mean, everything we just said about Judkins, maybe he comes through late in the season, but give me Addison, the guy who you know is a solid receiver with high upside. All right, the Holy One. With the Hunter news, do I start him or Hendy? This is an 8-teamer. Down 47 already. That's not a good thing, but it's okay. That means you probably have more players left than he does. Got JD, Bijan, Bucky, Puka, Jason, Ingram. Opponent had, of course they did. Of course they had Javonte and Mahomes.
Imagine facing Javonte this week. I would be so tilting. Like, come on, really?
And in an 8-team league, someone rolled that Javonte is my guy.
Wow.
That's
tilting.
Irritating.
I'm going Hunter over Henry, definitely. I mean, Hunter over Henderson, definitely.
Yeah. You need some ceiling here. Let's go Hunter. Zachary Mudd. Rate this team in the sleeper. Goff, Williams, H.N. Henderson, Mason, Bill, Chubb. Got Lamb, Jason, Higgins, Worthy, Waddle, Odunze, Burden, Andrews.
Doesn't say how many teams it is. HN, Lamb. I'm going to assume 12 because I'm assuming you went Lamb, HN. Although you have T. Higgins and JSN, so it might be 10. Oh, Worthy. That hurts. Obviously, would have rated this team higher prior to last night because we don't, I mean, like I said, we don't know how long Worthy's out for, but there's a potential that it's a season ender.
Oh, okay. I just saw it down here. I'm scrolling down. 10-teamer. Half PPR.
Yeah. I mean, half PPR, HN, Henderson, Mason, Bill, Chubb. Lamb, JSN. I mean, your wide receivers are really good. I mean, you probably won't even miss Worthy, to be honest, with Lamb, JSN, Higgins, and Waddle. I have Caleb, Andrews. But I'd like a little better running backs. I mean, if Henderson ends up being a league winner, I mean, obviously, if he ends up being great, it can make it better. But as it stands right now for a 10-teamer, it's an okay team. It's solid. It's not like great. I'll say 8.
Yeah, if it was a 12-teamer, I'd feel better. And look, receiver, obviously before Worthy got hurt, it was good and pretty deep, but still very good. I mean, you got Dunze just down there, buried on your depth chart. Waddle could have a great season. If Henderson has a great year, then this is a contender. But right now, let's just put it at an 8. Okay, so this one I'm a little confused. This is Superflex. Ginyu Force said started Dak over Purdy. Okay, but then is asking should I flex Purdy over Ridley?
I mean, if it's Superflex, heck yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll do that even if Ridley had a good matchup. But
Right.
yeah, flex Purdy. All right, what's up, Juice? Adams or Pearsall?
I'm going Pearsall. You know how I feel about this Adams matchup. I don't feel good. I mean, that Houston secondary is so strong. I mean, we're scared of Ridley, the wide receiver 1. I got to be scared of Adams, the wide receiver 2. I'm going Pearsall.
All right, but then he threw a curveball down here.
No.
Let's add Judy to the mix. Adams,
Oh,
Judy.
now I'm going Judy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I like Pearsall still this week. I'm not scared of starting Devontae Adams, but I would agree with what you said. But Judy, I mean, come on, it's Cincinnati's defense. It's Joe Flacco. All right. Julio bringing up a kicker here, picks up Chris Boswell. Now he's in an Arthur Smith offense. Actually should be good for the kicker, nobody else. Keep stashing Godwin, or are we chasing QJ, who cannot stop scoring touchdowns in that offense, or Keenan, who also scored, or Higgins?
Man, I mean, I definitely want to pick up Keenan. I'm still like, I don't really need Higgins yet. I don't feel like. Well, I mean, maybe that'll change after tomorrow. But I don't know if I want to drop Godwin. But I mean, Keenan is healthy. Keenan is playing. Keenan is going to get targets. I might just drop Godwin for Keenan at this point, honestly.
Yeah, like he's coming back, but honestly, everything I've read over the past week or so doesn't make me feel good about how healthy he's going to be when he does come back. Like it just the news keeps seeming to get worse. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound like he's going to just come back and be like, all right, let's go. And I think if I remember, Julio, you're not in a super deep league. I think you can just go for Keenan for now. My one worry, I will say this, as far as the Chargers offense, what I saw from watching, I think I watched pretty much all the second half. I worry that they might have too many options now, spreading the ball around. I mean, he didn't get a lot of catches, but Trey Harris, he looks good out there. That catch I saw him make, and Quentin Johnson did something. Ladd is there. Keenan's there. I'm like, man, I don't know. But I'd say Keenan is probably the move here too. Let's not panic on Pickens. Zymalik. Swift or Igbuka?
I'm going Igbuka in PPR. I like Igbuka. I like both these guys this week, honestly, but Swift, the running back, going against the tough Vikings defense, I like Igbuka.
I think these guys could both be pretty solid options in PPR. Yeah, lean receiver, but also, I mean, given the fact I picked Baker, one of my top 3, the Python question, I think that he'll be good enough. I think Evans will feast. I think that this game is going to be high scoring in general. Let's just put it that way. I think Baker will put up some good numbers, and Igbuka will show out. A couple of the regular chats here. This one is interesting. I don't know how many IO Minor questions we'll get. Charles Hamlet, would you drop Trey Benson for IO Minor?
No, Trey Benson's still an elite handcuff. Iomanor, I mean, like he's not going to overtake Ridley or anything like that. I don't want to, like, I would hate to drop Benson for Iomanor, and then James Conner gets hurt this week. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't drop an elite. If it was like one of those situations where it's not a true handcuff, I'd say sure, but this is a true handcuff in a good situation. I'm keeping Benson.
Yeah, I like Iomanor, but I don't see too many scenarios where if your receiver room, as long as you didn't completely mess up your draft, he shouldn't jump into your starting lineup anytime soon. You know what I mean? So just keep Benson. Here's a tough one. Will Oliveri, Hubbard or Sutton?
I think I'm going Chuba, even in PPR. I just like Chuba enough this week against the Jags. I think he's got the upside this week. I'm going Chuba.
Yep, exactly. I think because he's not only going to be the lead back, he also will get some receptions. Just too good of a matchup. So here we won't lean receiver in PPR. Okay, and then Rachel needs some help. Unfortunately, played Pacheco, Keenan on the bench. I mean, can't be blamed for not starting Keenan. I don't think many people did.
Right.
So here we go. Pollard, Tillman, Tracy, or Diggs?
I think I'd go Diggs here. Diggs and Pollard close for me. I do worry a little bit Pollard against the Broncos, Titans. Like, how's the offense going to be? How much are they really going to be able to move the ball? I'm going to go Diggs. I like Diggs against the Raiders.
Yeah, Tracy, not enough upside compared to these guys. Tillman's interesting, but you do have better options. So Pollard's kind of the safer pick. Diggs for more upside. And then Zaymalik back with another one. So once a rating on this team and advice, potentially, not that I think you love the idea on principle of trading for a tight end. So, okay, here we go. Got Purdy and Fields, Saquon, AK Swift. Is it Javonte on the bench? That's kind of sad. Sharps, BTJ, JSN, Pickens, Buka, Addison, Godwin, Tesla. And then Ferguson is the tight end.
I think you're fine with Ferguson, depending on what's on the waiver wire. I mean, if you could trade somebody like a Godwin for a good tight end or something like that, or Addison, sure, because it doesn't seem like you really need them. But I wouldn't necessarily be trading for a tight end. As far as rating the team, Saquon, AK Swift. Look, Javonte Williams, the guy in Dallas. I still like Pickens. Again, we didn't expect Quinyon Mitchell to shadow him. We knew we'd see some Quinyon Mitchell, but we didn't expect Quinyon Mitchell to shadow him wherever he went. It was an interesting strategy where they're like, we're going to shadow Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb had like 70 yards on the first drive or something. It's like, why would you shadow Pickens and not Lamb? I know their plan was like they'll shadow Pickens and then shade all the other rest of the coverage to CeeDee Lamb, but it's like, yeah, but the rest of your corners are garbage. I still think Pickens is going to have a great year. So I still like your wide receivers. I think overall this is a good team. Even with Ferguson's fine. I'll say 8.5.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is just interesting. Javonte is the RB4 here, coming off a 2-touchdown game. Is this the window to sell high and say, hey, RB1 in Dallas, maybe I can get? Not somebody like not a tight end who's like middle of the road. I'm trying to think of somebody who's like actually worth trading for, but not really worth trading for, like a good player, like a Tucker Kraft or a Mark Andrews. But what if you can get like a Kittle?
For Javonte? If somebody's gonna give me Kittle for Javonte, I'm taking that and running.
Right. Like, I don't think you could get McBride or Bowers, obviously. That would be silly. But, like, where's the line? Maybe try that. But not for, like, Dalton Kincaid or something. All right.
No.
That's not necessarily even an upgrade. Danny Takuchi, rate this 10-team league team. T-Law is the quarterback. All right. Gibbs, Walker, Caleb, Sharp, Scatterboo, Eckler, London, Adams, T-Mac, Ridley, Diggs, McBride.
All right, Gibbs, Walker, Caleb Sharp, Scatterboo. I mean, your top 2 running backs are good. It's a little dicey behind them. Eckler, London, Adams, T-Mac, Ridley, Diggs. It's a solid wide receiver room. You do have an elite, but I mean, so I'm guessing you went Gibbs, London, McBride here. Walker, Adams. Again, it's a good team. It's not a bad team by any stretch, but for a 10-teamer, like we've seen some really good 10-team teams, right? Where it's like, whoa, you're stacked everywhere. So I'm gonna say 8.5.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go more like an 8. I think the T-Law, not my choice, a quarterback, but of course you may have better options on the waiver wire, and that's fine. You're good at your top 2 running backs, but the depth is not ideal. And the receiver room, I definitely like the receiver room. You got McBride, so it's good overall. Dan wants to know, Dan Groipy, Warren, I guess Jalen Warren, Ridley or Pearsall, unless it happens to be Tyler Warren.
Oh, Tyler Warren or Jalen Warren, I'm not starting them over these guys. I'm going to go Pearsall here again. I'm not scared. I'm not scared off from Jennings or the Seahawks or anything. I am a little scared about Surtain, so I'm going to go Pearsall.
Yeah, this one pretty easily is going to be Pearsall. And then back to Juice. Waddle, Wilson, or Jacoby? That one's tougher.
Yeah, but I'm going Garrett Wilson here. I talked about it. You weren't on here yet. I was looking into it, fantasy points this morning. Steelers ran the most single high and cover 3 last year. He was significantly better. I mean, single high is almost always good for the wide receiver one, the outside wide receiver, but he was much better against single high cover 3. They allowed the most yards to outside wide receivers last year. They had the same exact defense coordinator they have had the last 2 years. They're not going to change anything. I like Garrett Wilson, but I kind of like all these guys this week. But I'm going G Will this week.
Yeah, this one is close. I think when it's like this, you have really good options. We can exclude Waddle just because. Let's see exactly how the Dolphins' offense functions and looks. I think Jacoby is your safe pick here. If it was my team, I think I would go Jacoby, but Wilson is also a really solid pick. It's between those two. What about NTY 10-teamer Kraft, or are we're just going all in on Pitts?
Oh, man.
Not that this is all in, but
Right.
I feel like at this point, just putting him in a starting lineup is like a big vote of confidence for him. It's like, I'm a believer. I mean, you drafted him.
I do actually like Pitts this week, but I like Kraft too. I think I go Kraft.
Yeah,
Kraft feels safer.
Have you heard? I don't know if there is any update on Mooney. Is Mooney playing or not?
He's listed as questionable right now.
I'll see that right there. If he's still questionable and he's been able to practice, that doesn't sound very good. And they weren't expecting him initially out there for week 1. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like I said, somewhat dependent on Mooney. Like I said, if you have him on your roster, you already have dove headfirst into the Kyle Pitts Kool-Aid. So I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's go Pitts. Antonio Betancourt. All right. Rate and how to improve this 12-teamer half PPR. We need a QB, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, kicker, defense. All right. Purdy. Let's go with Purdy. Collins, McLaurin, Jacobs, Kamara, Ferguson, Dicker, the kicker, San Francisco on the bench. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody in the bench that needs to jump in the lineup.
No.
Maybe Javonte.
Too late for that. I mean, I don't really see. I mean, again, you could try to shoot for the fences at tight end with Javonte, but like I'm not trading him for like a Dallas Goedert or something like that.
Right.
it would have to be. I don't know if you can get a Kittle. I mean, if you can get a Hawkinson maybe or an Njoku, you could probably get an Njoku.
Oh yeah, I would say so, probably. So,
But I don't see anything where I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, you got to do this or you got to do that.
no, it's pretty balanced, Overall, tight end is your weak spot. Oh well, no big deal. Your bench is pretty much it's pretty much handcuffs, except for Javonte, and that's okay. So I don't know. Yeah, I hate to just kind of blanket, just like it's an 8. I think it's a 12-teamer. It's probably about an 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a tough call, I think. Marcus, in a super flex league, completions are half a point each.
Wow.
So in this case, you go Caleb or Gino. You got to think volume here.
Well, I think the volume is going to be with Caleb, so I'm going to go Caleb.
I would think so. It does help. I mean, the Patriots, okay defensively, not a sieve, but Christian Gonzalez being out, that could help. But is this going to be a pass-heavy attack? Is this just going to be a high-scoring game? I don't think so. I'll go Caleb here. All right, Antonio. Let's go back to him. Antonio Betancourt forgot the flex spot also and have Waddle. So let's see. It's the one we just did. Has Waddle. Okay, that helps.
I mean, that helps. That definitely helps. Makes your wide receivers a little deeper.
I probably flexing Waddle unless it's Tillman. All right, Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle over Tillman for me.
Okay. There we go. Let's do that. Easy. Carl's fishing for a 10. If I grabbed BTJ, what? Oh, no, it's like BRJ.
No, Brian Robinson.
It's like, there's no way you got BRJ and have Hollywood on my bench. Hey, Hollywood, we were talking of Hollywood a lot. I didn't start him in most of my leagues, but yeah, I do have him in a lot of best ball drafts. I don't know if that alone makes it a 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure that makes it a 10, but you should be feeling good.
9.75. Just to get frustratingly close.
Right.
All right. Another one. DJ Khaled would say, Juice. Joined way too many leagues. Oh, yeah, we're aware. DJ Moore, Pollard, Tet, or Pearsall at the flex?
I'm going Tet. I've become all in on Tet this week.
I mean, those are your flex spot. I mean, that's a pretty good set of players. Yeah, I'm pretty high on Tet, but I think I gotta go DJ Moore. Let me see what he did to the Vikings last year. And this is a new offense with the Bears, so I'll lean Moore, but Tet also a good choice. C. Hibbs. Probably Garrett Wilson. Debo. Yeah. Garrett Wilson or Jacoby. Kind of what we just
talked about. I mean, we kind of had this question just about Debo. I like Garrett Wilson this week. I'm playing him, but I like Jacoby too. So, but I'm probably going Garrett Wilson here.
Yeah, and I slightly lean Jacoby. I think we can both agree Debo. We've heard good things. Let's sit him out and see exactly how much he gets used. All right, you'll never believe it. It's Juice again, but not just a question. Do you see he got a lot of leagues? Now he's got a lot of membership months. 23 months he re-upped.
23. Wow.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't think we could possibly appreciate you enough, but thank you.
Right. Thank you.
So, Kenneth Walker or Kyron, these are your choices at RB2. Is this an 8-man league? Like, come on.
Oh, I mean, I can't. I like Kenneth Walker this week, but I have no reason to sit Kyron Williams. What's my reason to sit Kyron Williams? I mean, it's the Texans. I guess that would be my only reason, but it doesn't seem like a good enough reason. I'm going Kyron, I guess, but I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that you have these choices.
Your reason could be that you read the report that they're going to lighten his workload, and they're really going to make sure this year that Blake Corum is involved.
Yeah, we're doing this again, huh? We're doing this again.
Yeah, no. Let's go, Kyron. Mostly 10-team leagues. Yeah, even for a 10-teamer though, get both those guys as your RB2. That's still, well, it's nice problem to have. Well, you can't flex one. Who's your flex? I mean, I would
exactly. Who's your flex?
probably flex Walker unless you have stud receivers also, in which case I'm not sure how you did that. But well. All right, let's go to Marcus again. Tillman or Ridley in half.
So we had this one earlier with somebody. It was somebody else, but it was like Tillman, Ridley, and some other not very good player. And I went Tillman. You know what? I have these both kind of as flexes this week just because of Surtain. He gets the Bengals. I'll take a chance on Tillman this week. Probably the only week I'm going to say Tillman over Ridley.
Yes, that's for sure. You have possibly the worst matchup versus, I think, arguably the best, right? Is there a defense that you feel is going to be worse than the Bengals this year?
Jags.
All right, maybe the Jags. That's fair. But let's do it. Let's go Tillman. Because the thing is, even if Ridley doesn't do 0, right? Oh, he'll catch a couple passes. Do we expect him to have a big game? Like, chances are very low. Tillman could have a big game.
Right.
So, all right. Demetrios. Rate this team. Prescott and Goff, Achane, Chase Brown, Stevenson, Benson, Lamb, Hill, Flowers, Pickens, Diggs, Njoku, Ingram. Okay, granted defense. Wait a minute. You have the Bengals defense. I guess no faith in Joe Flacco.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Achane, Chase Brown. That's very nice. Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Flowers, Pickens, Diggs is pretty good. Njoku, Ingram, that's very good. Prescott, Goff, you should be fine there. Not sure how many teams this is. If it's a 10-teamer, it's good, but not great, like a 8-ish. If it's a 12-teamer, it's pretty strong. I mean, having Achane and Chase Brown and CeeDee Lamb with Hill, Flowers, Pickens, Diggs, tight, wide receiver, good tight ends. 10-teamer, I'll say 8. 12-teamer, I'll say 8.5.
If you swap out that defense, then I'll bump it up to an 8.75. It's it's good. I mean, I like you have 2 solid quarterbacks, 2 good tight ends. I like that receiver room. It's deep enough. Hill is going to be kind of a determining factor here, but we'll see. By the way, here's where we're at with Juice. His flex somehow is Sun God.
Oh my God. Okay, well, yeah, you got to leave Sun God in there.
And he has Waddle on the bench. Yeah, I would start Walker over Waddle, but it doesn't matter because you have no room for these guys. All right, first world problems. Okay, Rodney, now, would you trade for AJB? Is this a buy low window, or is this the red flags are waving, I'm going to stay away?
Probably a buy low. Although I talked about this earlier on the stream, and I'm like, why didn't Pierre talk me out of AJ Brown? Because I faded AJ Brown all off season. Faded him all off season. Said he's overrated. Why is this guy always viewed as like a stud fantasy wide receiver? Like, yeah, he has stud games, but then he has terrible games. But I was like, oh, it's the Cowboys. He's gonna have a big game against the Cowboys.
He should have.
It's like after fading this guy all off season, I put him on the booms. Like, what was I thinking? But here's my real issue, because of course, for the panic video, I've already started to do notes, starting to dig into it. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if you saw this. You probably didn't. Hold on, because you were at the game today. AJ Brown.
Oh,
where is he at? Okay,
is it the thing where he got 0 separation on every single route?
He got 0 separation, had a 0% win rate on his routes, but not only that, not even running full speed. Remember, he had a hamstring injury for like most of camp. Now I'm like, wait, maybe this guy wasn't even healthy going into this game. Like, he's not even healthy. Maybe he's not even healthy right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which would have been nice to know before I put him on the Booms video.
Exactly.
It's like, so now we're talking about a guy who, okay, look, his hamstring is going to heal. He's going to get healthy. But we already know this is a guy who's going to be very volatile because, okay, everything went pretty much the way I expected that game to go. A lot of people said, oh, Eagles are just going to roll them. I said, no. Cowboys are going to put points on the Eagles. Cowboys are going to keep this game close. And they did.
They did.
But still, the Eagles didn't throw the ball. They still didn't throw the ball. So you have a team that's only going to throw the ball like 20 to 25 times a game. He's going to be frustrating. All that being said, if you can really buy low on AJ Brown, like if you could trade, like who were guys going, more like 4th round picks versus, like if I could trade Tyreek Hill for AJ Brown straight up right now, I would take AJ Brown. If I could trade, who are some guys in that range that I didn't like? If I could trade DK Metcalf straight up for AJ Brown right now, I'm taking AJ Brown.
Yeah, we were pretty out on DK, but yeah. What about like a Marvin Harrison? Is that too much?
No, I would just give me AJ Brown. Give me AJ Brown. Like I'll still take AJ Brown. I'll still take a chance on AJ Brown. But if somebody's gonna be like, well, because this is the way most fantasy players are thinking right now. He was my 2nd round pick. I need your 2nd round pick.
Exactly.
So if I have to trade Drake London for AJ Brown or Jonathan Taylor for AJ Brown, guys, look, I wasn't drafting AJ Brown in the 2nd round anyways. I was taking all these guys over AJ Brown anyways. Then I'm not doing it. But if the person with AJ Brown is like, nope, I don't want this guy. I'm freaked out. I don't want this guy, and I can get him for like the guy drafted in the 4th round, the 5th round, depending on who it is. Yeah, I'll do it. But just know AJ Brown is going to be a roller coaster. He's going to be volatile and frustrating.
Right. Well, that's what he was last year. That's, I think, pretty much what he was the year before. But also, well, here's the thing: is because if this was in fact due to him being still not 100% injured or whatever you want to call it, it's just not 100%. No, then I'm not going to trade. I'm going to wait another week because what if he is bad again? Then the buy low window is open even more, and then maybe people are panicking. They're like, oh. Well, I'll take Travis Hunter or, Jawan Jennings for him or something. Like, not necessarily, but still, I want to wait and see. Because if that's the case and he's not healthy and they just basically didn't say anything, which is weird, right? Why would they? Well, I know why NFL teams lie, but still,
right.
Why? Like, we had no indication that he wasn't good to go. So if that's the case, yeah, I'm going to wait because then, you might as well. You can still probably get him another week or so. I know we got some more super chats in. This one, let's do a couple of interesting questions. I think they're interesting. But I actually want to also kind of help out here. Flies Kane? Higher floor. Kyler Murray or Bo Nix? I know the answer is not Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking floor, it's probably Bo Nix.
But what do we have to say about higher floor?
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's higher floor, I think it's Bo Nix. But yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'm going to play Kyler because I think he has a higher ceiling this week against the Saints. We always chase ceiling.
Right. You don't want floor. Like, that's not how we make our decisions. If you're asking, I mean, actually, you didn't say this week or just overall. Overall, it's definitely Knicks. This week, the higher ceiling is Murray, so we're playing Murray.
Yes.
And then let's see, where's the other one I had here? This one's interesting. Omega Will, Metcalf or Pearsall?
I think as down as I've been on Metcalf, and even though I don't love the matchup this week for Metcalf, he's still the wide receiver one there. And with Jennings playing and with CMC probably playing, I think I got to give Metcalf the edge this week. Barely.
This one's tough because Metcalf's the one. Pearsall was the one. Now he's, I don't know. They're both 1A, 1B, whatever. Him and Jennings. I still like Pearsall. I'm not giving up. I'm going to give the edge to Pearsall this week. I spy. Which suspended player do you prefer, Addison or Rice?
I think it's got to be Rice. I mean, again, there's a chance. that Worthy is out the entire season. If he has to have surgery on that shoulder, it's over.
It's crazy.
Right? Like why is Kelsey still playing? You should just be out there enjoying your life with Taylor Swift. And I'm not even this isn't even a joke. I'm not even joking. Like just go out there and like you've done everything you could do in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like what are you trying to prove? Did Taylor Swift make you play? I don't know. My wife has a theory that Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13 and she wanted Kelsey to play 13 seasons. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if that's true. But it's like, just go enjoy your life with Taylor Swift now. Like, you don't need to be out there. And like, all you did, I mean, okay, you scored that touchdown. Like, great. That's all you really did last night. You injured your best player outside of Mahomes. You injured your best guy outside of Mahomes. Look, when Rice comes back, if Worthy is out, for as many catches as Hollywood Brown had last year, it's just because he got so many targets. Last night. Like, Hollywood Brown did not play great last night. He just got a bazillion targets. Like, he's a PPR monster. Rice will be set to smash in the second half of the season. It's got to be Rice. Yes.
Yeah. I think it would be Rice anyways because of ceiling, and now it's definitely Rice. So, yeah, you're the one getting Rice. Do it. All right. But back to the super chats here. Adrian Luna Golf. Trade Pacheco.
What are you getting for Pacheco right now?
Maybe.
I mean,
Chiefs barely run. Well, okay. They barely ran last night, but that's because they were trailing. And here's what I think, though. I would can't even say concern aggravated me, and I know it aggravated you. Why is Kareem Hunt still out there getting carries? And come on.
Well, that's the thing here, because again, looking on fantasy points, Pacheco only played 5 more snaps than Hunt and only ran 2 more routes. So it's even if they did commit to the run more last night, like say they were winning and were able to run the ball, we're going to see an annoyingly amount of Kareem Hunt. We just are. So, yeah, I mean, this is another frustrating one for me because, for like 90% of the offseason, I didn't draft, but I was not drafting Pacheco at all. And then I started to buy into the Pacheco lead back narrative down the stretch, which is why I try. Like, that's why I'm only blaming myself. I'm not blaming the people who were like all in on Pacheco because everybody's all in on their people, and there's people I'm all in on that are going to be terrible this year, and it's just the way it goes. But like I try to block out. I don't follow other fantasy football creators or analysts or experts, whatever. Not that I think they're bad, but because I don't want them to, like, I don't want to start seeing it and be like, oh, that makes okay. And then I flip how I feel about players. Because when I say things on videos or on streams, I want it to be the way I feel. Right or wrong, I want it to be the way I feel. It's not always going to be right, but at least it's the way I feel. Like, you're not just hearing me rehash what other people say. That being said, I started to buy into the noise on Pacheco potentially being the guy when I was like completely out on Pacheco all off season. Now I wish I had just stayed out on Pacheco because again, it doesn't even matter. Like if they were running the ball last night, if it's going to be a 50-50 split, what are we really going to get here?
A lot of aggravation.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. And I still didn't draft a lot of Pacheco, but I was like, okay, I get him just in case. I don't want to be completely like, come on, like, I have that for a reason. Oh, okay, it's just been 1 week. Let's not say he's a bust yet. But I will say this: you trade him, but what are you doing? You're selling low because everyone else saw that he did nothing. So,
yeah, what are you trading for Pacheco? What are you getting for Pacheco right now?
Right. Exactly.
Chris Rodriguez, a guy somebody just picked up off waiver wire yesterday or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I might prefer Rodriguez at this point. No. Yeah. So probably best if you hold on to him. He will have some good games, I'm sure. I think. Tyler, what's up? Hey, welcome back, Tyler. In the military. I don't remember if you ever said which form. Happy Saturday, Pierce Haller Myers at their flex. Okay, Pierce Haller Myers wanting to whoop. Yes, let's do it.
I'm going Myers here. I like Myers this week. Good matchup. Again, Christian Gonzalez is out, so should have no problem. He should have no problem this week.
Yeah, I like them both, but I'll lean Myers as well. Okay. Good luck. Let's get that whooping on. Basic money. How do you feel about Aaron Jones or Swift at RB2? Yep, same game.
Well, if you buy into the Aaron Jones destroy Chicago narrative, I guess you got to go Aaron Jones. But I like Swift this week. I mean, there's nobody behind him. He's got to get all the touches. He's going to catch the passes. I know it's a tough matchup against the Vikings, but I still like Swift more than Jones this week.
Same here. Like Swift a little bit better. He's just due to get more touches, most likely. Yes, you know, I've said Aaron Jones usually feasts on the Bears, but he doesn't usually have somebody in the mix, you know, splitting carries with him. So it's a little different. I think Jones is solid this week, but I like Swift better. That same game, Juice agrees about DJ Moore. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a higher ceiling there. We'll see. All right, back to Ginyu Force in draft lane. Love to see it. Draft lane, start Dak over Purdy. Dak let down. Okay. Bijan, Walker, Nico, Terry, MJ, Sanders, Purdy. My bench is Williams, B-Rob, Ridley, Mason, Kirk. I don't see any. Wait.
Well, is that Jameson Williams or Javonte? If it's Javonte, obviously can't do anything. But if it's Jameson, I might put him over Terry. I was talking about this, Pierre, before you came on a little bit. Again, doing research on fantasy points today. So last year, Terry McLaurin versus two high safeties had a 0.25 targets per route run versus single high only 0.21. Last year, the Giants ran the third most single high. It's the same defense coordinator. Look at last year. Two worst games were against the Giants. 6 catches, 22 yards, 2 catches for 19 yards. Coming off a limited camp. I just think this is a bad matchup. He's coming off I'm really worried about Terry. I think I just go. If that's Jameson Williams, I go Jameson. Now, if it's Javonte, it's too late. I'm still not playing Ridley over Terry. I'm not playing Mason or B-Rob. Obviously, Kirk's hurt. But if that's Jameson Williams, I'll put him in over Terry.
Yeah, and in fact, I backed off a little bit on Terry. At one point, I thought, they're going to feed him. This was going to be a good matchup. And then I was looking, exactly like you said. He did not do well against Giants too much last year. And so you still start him unless you have a much better option. If it happens to be JMO, then he is a better option. But otherwise, you're good. Molly Wop. Hurts, Henry Pollard, Evans, Olave, Kittle, Hunter on the bench are those guys. Tillman is available. Any changes here in the lineup? Would you take Tillman? I would take him. I prefer him over Coleman.
I prefer him over. I would probably. I'm going to drop Eckler for Tillman. I do want to, because I just feel like what's the upside for Eckler? At least Keon Coleman has potential.
True.
So I would drop Eckler for Tillman. Henry Pollard, Evans, Olave, Kittle, Travis Hunter. I'm not. I would really debate putting Tillman in over Olave, honestly.
Yeah.
I might do it.
Or Odunze, actually. I think I would prefer Odunze over Olave.
Oh, I didn't see Odunze. Yeah, I would definitely put Odunze in over Olave.
Yeah. There will be times, look, Olave will be startable.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
We'll see.
I hope. But yeah, you got better options. Odunze. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up Tillman. That's exactly right. With Eckler, you do have Mason, a solid running back. There'll be other guys who pop up on waivers. And you know what? It's exactly right. What does Eckler get you? 6 points, 7 points. Right. Let's go Keon Johnson. Okay. Is this some sort of a buy low for CMC? I don't know if this is really buy low. Connor and Brees for CMC and Warren.
Yeah. I mean, if CMC was like 100% good to go, no issues, I would be like, yeah, do this. Give me CMC. I think the risk is just too high right now. Connor is solid. Brees still has potential. Like Warren is just like, fine. Right? So you're really betting on CMC being 100% good to go. And look, I hope he is. We all hope. Well, maybe not all of us. I'm sure some of us are rooting against CMC because you didn't draft him and you faded him and you want him to fail. But the rest of us are all rooting for CMC to be healthy and good to go because he's awesome, right? We want that. But the risk is that he's not. The risk is that we wake up tomorrow morning and it's like, nope, he's not playing. Or he goes out there and, barely plays or re-aggravates it and limps off. Or maybe like, remember T. Higgins back in the day? Like, yeah, T. Higgins is playing. And then he doesn't even take a snap. He just stands on the sideline. Yeah. Like, the risk is very high with CMC right now. Connor is very solid. Brees still has potential. I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah. It's too risky because that's the thing. If he already is aggravating it just in practice, I mean, we're just going to see a repeat of last year, right? It doesn't have to be in the snow for him to do something fluky that just, tears the Achilles or something. Like, yeah, I'm not trading for CMC right now. Sean Van Coor, 3 receivers that we'd start, or possibly 4 instead of Walker. Well, maybe. Neighbors, JSN, McMillan, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, or Garrett Wilson.
No, I don't think I'm starting 3 of these guys over Walker. I'm starting Neighbors for sure. And then I think I'm going JSN and McMillan with Walker. I like Sutton. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Adams. But I like Walker a ton this week against 49ers. So I'm going to go Neighbors, JSN, McMillan, and Walker.
Yeah, that's a room. That's not a receiver room. That's a stable.
Yes.
It's got horses in there, man. But you can say, okay, based on matchup, Garrett Wilson, no, not the best. Devontae Adams, let's see if Stafford makes it through this game alive. Sutton is a little bit safer, but yeah, I would probably keep Walker in there as well. But yeah, the first 3 are most starts. All right. Steel Will 456. Let's rate this one. Brock, Bijan, Bucky, London, Ted, Kraft, Walker. Got the Bears. And on the bench, Ridley, Pearsall, Golden, Tank, Ollie, Higgins, and Caleb Williams. Any changes here?
Wait, is there a kicker named Loop? I assume that's the kicker.
I assume so too. So I didn't bother saying the name. Loop? I don't remember. It could be.
All right. Bijan Bucky, that's very nice. London Tet, that's very good. Kraft solid. Kenneth Walker's your flex is great. Kicker defense. Ridley, Pearsall, Golden, just chilling on your bench. Tank, all is this gotta be a 10-teamer, right? I mean, because how do you get Bijan Bucky and London?
I could see this happening though, because weighted on tight end, right? You got Kraft weighted on QB. Brock was, kind of a later QB. This might be a 12-teamer. Bijan early.
If it's a 12-teamer, this is great. Bijan and Bucky with
London,
Drake London, Tet, Ridley, Pearsall, Golden, Tank, Kenneth Walker, just nice RB3 there. If it's a 12-teamer, it's probably like an 8.75. If it's a 10-teamer, it's still good, like 8.25.
Yeah, agree with that. I could see this being a 12-team league. Changes? No, Ridley's is not the week to start him. Golden, you can wait. No, I don't think there's any change here. You're pretty set. I'll tell you what, I might be tempted if you want to try Caleb Williams instead of Brock, but it's a little riskier. So I think you're fine with Brock. All right, and then Caden Benemerito, 12-man PPR. Got Purdy, Hampton and Connor. I'm on Rob, BTJ, Ingram, Swift, Benson, Ford, Sharp, Jamison Williams on the bench, Shaheed, and Pop. I mean, I like Swift, but don't you think you put J-Mo?
I'm putting J-Mo over Swift in PPR. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like Swift, but yeah, in PPR, let's go J-Mo this week. Overall, it's good. I mean, you got a good lineup pretty much from top to bottom. Got good talent. The bench has upside. This is like an 8.25 if it's a 12-teamer, which it is.
Yeah, good team.
Yeah, it's a good team. All right. Flyus Kane saying thank you in orange. Yes, I try my best on the pronunciation.
It's
Because
good.
I
That's
know
why
my
I
name.
said that. Yeah, because I answered his question earlier, and I was like, "Oh man, I know I'm doing this wrong."
Because as someone who has my name mispronounced like 90% of the time, just try. You can't mispronounce Roy L. Flush. Won his league last year. All
Nice
right. Thank you. I like you went all in with the that looks like a video poker machine.
video
All right.
poker.
I love video poker. All right, 8-teamer. 8-teamer and it's half and it's super flex. Love or T-Law?
T-Law.
Flex, Brees, Devontae, or I think you're in a Tet. Got to be Tet.
Tet. I'm going Tet. I like Tet this week.
Yeah, go on Tet, but also some questions with the first two. There you go. And then Juan Rogers has Samson. Would you pick up Judkins?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's going to be the RB1 sooner or later.
Now, I don't know if what you mean, because you just asked, should I pick up Judkins? You mean pick up Judkins and drop Samson like for him? And I think the answer's probably still yes. Not out on Samson. He's got potential, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so yes, Loop is the new Justin Tucker. Well, there you go.
All right.
Good to know.
Tyler Loop.
I'll just say this. Tyler Loop. Okay. I try. I really try. Like, I know we don't do kickers, and I'll start said, okay. I try to at least know who the kickers are on each team. At least that way I'm not like, who's that guy? If you ask a kicker question, I feel like, because it is somewhat still fantasy relevant for most of you. This year, I have not even done that at all. I had no idea. I knew there was a new Baltimore kicker, obviously, not just Tucker. I have not looked. And I also wait until the season starts because, right, these teams have like 3 kickers competing, and then week 1, then they like cut somebody that you thought was going to be the starter. All right, so now I feel like I have to actually figure out who the kickers are for each team.
I don't.
I don't feel that at all.
I have no league of kickers this year. I don't need to care. I don't even need to care who they are. And you know what? Okay. Kicker rant.
Yes.
So my buddy Jimmy and I, we always do Superflex League. We get together once a year. This is a great thing about being men, right? I don't talk to Jimmy all year. And then like 2 weeks for fantasy, he's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready." And we go get lunch. And it's like we just talked yesterday, and we get ready, right? And it's like no big deal. We can go 8 months without talking, and it's not like, dude, how come you never reached out to me? It's like, no, dude, we're cool, right? It's one of the great things about being men, right? It's just like, hey man, it's been a year, but how you been? I'm good. Awesome. You want to go get lunch? Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? Anyways, we were looking at it last year because I was like, man, how did we not win last year? We had Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, all on the same team. And we did not win. And I remembered because we looked in the semifinals, we started Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker missed a 30-yard field goal, which is -1 points in our league. So instead of getting 3 for the kick, we lost one. A 4-point swing. We lost that week by 3 points. I'm not even joking. By 3 points. And then we looked at like, okay, who we would have played in the next week. We would have smashed them. And we would have played in the finals, and we would have smashed them. We would have won the championship if not for Harrison Butker, a stupid kicker who should not be in fantasy, missing a 30-yard field goal. So, yeah, no kickers. Get him out of here.
Get him out.
Cost me a championship, Harrison Butker.
Just even more reason to not be a Harrison Butker fan as if we needed more. But, yeah, that's no kickers. No kickers. But I guess if you are forced to play with kickers, go Loop. Go Loop. Yeah, this is exactly right, my buddy. Busy, right? But text every once in a while. Like 90% of the time, it's about like Canes football. And then so we got together for the first time, and probably since last football season, because it's football season. Get together for the game.
Exactly.
All right, Juice. We have you interested. Okay. Grade this team, 10 team, Purdy, Genti, Kyron, T, Tet, Joku, Sun God. I think this is just like a flex here. He's like, yeah, check my team out. Walker on the bench, Harvey on the bench, Mason, Diggs, and Waddle on the bench.
What the
Jaden
heck?
Reed for some reason, Drake May.
Jaden Reed. Why not? I mean, it's a 10-teamer, but still this is stacked. I mean, Genti, Kyron, Kenneth Walker. I mean, T. Higgins, borderline wide receiver 1. Well, you got Sun God, so never mind. You do have a wide receiver 1. You had 9.75. Jaden Reed keeps it from being a 10.
That's what prevents it. Yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah, Purdy is fine. I'll go 8.5 because you didn't put any Saints on your bench. Missed opportunity. All right. This is not a 10-teamer. This is a 16-teamer and a trade question. I like these. Spencer Feathers got Rice and Tootin for Olave and Hunt. I would do that.
Yeah, I would take that.
Also,
I'd rather have Rice when he comes back.
Hopefully no injuries here, but Nico Sutton and then Tillman in a 16-teamer, that can get you by. I think that's fine. Yeah, take Rice. I think that's a good one. All right, Mark Rodriguez got Bill, Swift, Golden, or Sutton. Only one can sit. Well,
Bill's sitting. I'm not playing Bill.
I think we can wait and see how or if he's being used. Yeah. Other three are very solid. So yeah. Bill sits. That's exactly right. I mean, this is not a coincidence at all that Draft Lane does not have kickers. Thank you for pointing that out. 410 Braxton. All right, do a few more. Juice saying he can just drop Reed. Should we do that? It's a 10-teamer dropping Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody better on the waiver wire.
Probably. You know what? It's a 10-teamer. Bet you Judkins is out there. Just stash him.
Man, if it's a Draft Lane league, probably not.
Well, yeah. Jay Money wants to know, you think all eyes are on Tyreek Hill if he doesn't produce? I mean, it would be too early to push the panic button if he doesn't have. Let's say he just has like 3 catches for 40-something yards. Does he make the panic video?
Oh, absolutely. 3 catches, 40 yards. It's got to be panic against the Colts. I mean, yeah. I think he's got to at least have a decent game tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then yeah, I think it's definitely panic. Because we've already seen an entire year of that. And now it's like, oh, we're right back to this again.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you don't want to overreact to week 1 ever, but he's got to show something, right? He's got to get targeted a decent amount. He's got to look sort of like himself. So it's almost more just not even the stats, but just how it looks. But I also plan as a Dolphins fan to not make myself watch the whole Dolphins game. I'm going to keep it on the red zone. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was actually thinking maybe we can get what the chat thinks here. I'm debating. So, Red Zone's going to do commercials this year. I don't know why. But YouTube has Sunday Ticket for $34 a month, where you can watch every game, right? You have every game, and then I would just need to get like NBC for the Sunday night game. Should I do that, or should I do what I usually do, which is get like Sling? Because I don't really watch TV during the off season. Like, I don't really watch TV, so it's like I cancel Sling after the season. I just get it for Red Zone, or should I do that and get Red Zone? I'm kind of leaning towards Sunday Ticket to be able to see every game.
Well, I used to have the Sunday Ticket for a long time because I used to have DirecTV for a long time, and I loved it. Of course, I could not, but I do like now. I mean, not just because I don't have DirecTV, but I started using Red Zone a couple years ago. I do like it better because I don't have to flip, and I can just leave it on there. I just leave it, set, forget. I don't need to worry about all the games. I just Red Zone. That's all I need.
Right. I do really like Red Zone. But I mean, Sunday Ticket, you can have every game on the screen.
You could, but I think it's more practical. You know what? Honestly, I think because we do this, it's just that I instead of flipping it back, because I'm on my computer half the time, I'm looking up the box scores. I'm making notes. You know what I mean? It's kind of like working, and it's like I don't have time to multitask with a remote. It's like I need to focus on my laptop too. So I just want one channel. The remote can just sit there, and you know what I mean. Or maybe I've just gotten lazy. It could be that.
I mean, no, Red Zone is great. Red Zone is great, but sometimes this, like, I'm wondering if it's nice. It would be nice to like, you get to see what's going on in every game, because Red Zone's not going to show you like, that's what I was thinking, Mr. TD. Like, I could learn more by seeing like actual drives of actual games, like, because you can see the box. Like, you could look at the box score of the Cowboys Eagles and be like, well, look, Miles Sanders had like 3 carries for 50 yards, better than Javonte.
Right. Not knowing it was 1 carry, and I don't know what you're saying. Well, he votes for
I
YouTube
have the
TV.
I have the NFL app, but does NFL, like, can you get Sunday Ticket through NFL? I thought it was only YouTube now.
Oh, now I don't know. Now what I have now is the it's through NFL, the NFL Plus or whatever it is. That's how I get the Red Zone. I just have the NFL subscription. I honestly just didn't bother to look. Toluo was saying get NFL Plus. Yeah, that's what I do. But
for Red Zone, definitely. But I was looking because I was like, I was looking at the Sunday Ticket. It's actually a great. I mean, like I said, it's only if you don't get YouTube TV, which I don't want you. I don't have any reason. No need for YouTube TV. I'm not going to watch YouTube TV. Like, I don't watch TV.
Right. Yeah.
So same. I was like, but you can just get Sunday Ticket without YouTube TV. It's like $34.50 a month. I'm like, that's a pretty sweet deal for Sunday Ticket. And then I would just need to get like NBC for the Sunday night games, which is fine. I think I can just get like a Peacock subscription or something, right? Peacock? I don't know.
Peacock, yes.
Again, I don't watch TV, so I don't know. But I would just need NBC for the Sunday night games.
Yeah. There are other means, just saying, but we'll keep that on the Discord. Also, I mean, Sunday Ticket, Red Zone, they're all good. It's football. But sometimes there are things that aren't football that you can put on the screen, and you also could just set the remote aside. You just, like, you know what? The next 90 minutes, I will be entertained beyond belief. You know what one of those things is? I bet you'll never guess what that is.
I'll guess.
It's Shrek 2, but not streaming, only on DVD. For reasons still unexplained. Need an RB2, Ramondre, Sharp, probably Caleb Johnson, or Ollie.
Ugh. Let's go Ramondre against the Raiders. I know he's kind of just been forgotten, right? Like, nobody's even talking about him, but I still think he's going to get the most carries and most touches, and it's the Raiders. I'll go Ramondre.
Yeah, Ramondre will still be involved. I know everybody wants the Henderson takeover. Look, I wanted to, but it's not happening week 1. Ramondre will still be there, at least until he fumbles, and then we'll see. But for now, Ramondre. Sharp's not standalone value, and Johnson, who knows. How about this? Quick one. Prom baby. AJB and Worthy got him down 23.86. Cooked or not cooked?
I mean, I don't want to like. I mean, I don't want to like be Mr. Pessimistic, but when your 2 wide receivers combined for 1.7 points, I believe, you're probably cooked. Sadly, you're probably cooked.
I'll always say, it's just 2 players. You could have one player go off and make that up. Your opponent might have a guy get injured in the first quarter or whatever. I just feel like those 2 specific players, there's some bad mojo here. Getting hurt at the beginning of the game because he ran into his teammate, and then a stud receiver getting like 1 catch. So just because of that, I'm not feeling great about your chances. But logically, rationally speaking, you should still have a chance. All right.
Like, if it was like, your wide receiver 3 and your, whatever, like your RB2, I said maybe you have a chance, but it's like probably your top 2 wide receivers got you 1.7 points this week. You're probably cooked.
Could be. Just to follow up on the thing, yes. So somebody said YouTube TV does have NBC, Peacock.
Yes, YouTube TV has NBC, but again, I don't want to shell out. It's like YouTube TV is like $80 a month or something. I don't want to pay $80 a month just for one channel for Sunday Night Football. If I can just get like, what is Peacock, like $9.99 a month? I'm literally only watching Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, no,
I don't even know what shows are on NBC. Couldn't even name one show on NBC. Like, I'm not watching anything else. I'm just watching Sunday Night Football, and that's it. I'm not shelling out $80 just to watch one football game a week.
I'm with you there. We don't even get those channels anymore. I don't think anybody complains. We just Netflix and I guess Amazon.
So, but the Sunday ticket deal is good, and I do need NBC for the Sunday night game. But like I said, I think I can just get that.
This is interesting. I'm not sure. DT says get a digital antenna for $25.
Does that still actually work? I remember I did that way back in the day when I was like completely broke. I went and bought like a digital antenna because I couldn't afford cable.
Well, hey,
I mean, I'm good. I'm okay spending like $9.99 a month for Peacock.
All right. Well, there you go. How about Sob 92 now? Wow. Trading CMC for Puka and Henderson. Is this
I would just do this now. I mean, like Puka was basically a first round pick, early second round pick. Travion's got upside. Just mitigate the risk and just take Puka and Henderson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is enough. This is enough. I think it probably was enough anyways. But now, why not do it? So sure, go for it. Okay, Carl's talking about the baseball. Yeah, baseball's always had issues. That's a different thing. But let's do a couple more. We're basically caught up now. It's not a Peacock discussion. Okay, got off. Douglas, I wouldn't be too. He said helped him drafted, but Yahoo gave him the dreaded A+ grade. That's not a good thing. Cooked,
yeah,
exactly.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, cooked.
But hey, sometimes it could work. All right, let's do a couple more here. How about Bowcoat Hustler, DJ Moore, Jalen Warren?
DJ Moore.
Definitely DJ Moore here. Oh, okay. Well, the Bid podcast, would you start Bill over CMC?
No chance. I mean, I'm fine with Garendo if CMC is out. Like, is Bill going to score significantly more points than Garendo? I'm not sure.
But I thought Garendo, I know in the preseason he was hurt. Is he like good to go?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's good to go. Like, I talked about it. Obviously you weren't on yet. I'm pretty sure he's good to go. Because the running backs, the 49ers did not elevate a running back from the practice squad. So they obviously feel fine with Brian Robinson Jr. and Garendo if CMC is out. But that also to me tells me they must feel at least fairly good about CMC. They didn't elevate a running back from the practice squad just in case he doesn't play. So, yeah, I mean, what's the real expectations from Bill this week?
Aggravation. When everybody who drafted him and thought he was going to be a league winner and watches him get 6 carries while Chris Rodriguez scores 2 touchdowns. Yeah. No, don't start Bill. I mean, B-Rob, is the RB2, but Garendo at least would get some run. Let's see. Dave Flynn, Igbuka or Dobbs or Tillman, I guess.
Igbuka.
Yeah, I like Tillman, but let's go Igbuka here. Counting is fun. Garrett Wilson or Pearsall?
Garrett Wilson.
And I don't know if that's like a declaration or if it's like trying to convince himself. Like accounting, it's great fun. I've heard nothing but fun. Joseph wants to know Caleb or Stafford.
Caleb.
Yeah, let's go Caleb here. And all right, Dave, how about a super flex question? Fields or McCarthy?
I think I still go Fields here for the rushing, even in a tough matchup.
Yeah, tough matchup, but I don't feel like McCarthy. I mean, first of all, I actually want to see how he looks for his first game ever. But I don't feel like he's got like a super high ceiling. You know, I feel better maybe when Addison is back, easier matchup, etc. Caleb never feels good. Well, that was last year. This year's a different thing. Hopefully. All right. All right, one more. This one. Come on. Mike Henderson or Achane?
Achane. He's healthy. He's good. He's not even on the injury report. Achane.
Definitely Achane for sure. Yes, he is good. All right. You know what? You may have more questions by tomorrow if we didn't get to yours today, but guess what? We'll be on tomorrow. Do our annual weekly ritual during the season, being on 3 hours before the games start, answering all your start state questions. Hopefully no surprises, no fun last second injury designations, but at the same time, we are back, as we saw from already 2 games of football. We are back with injuries during the game and during practice and busts that we didn't see coming. And guys like Javonte Williams scoring 2 touchdowns, that is football. We try to navigate it with you and help you out. So we'll do what we can. Make sure you got your notifications on. Like I said, 3 hours before kickoff, whatever time zone you're in. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on the way out. Appreciate everybody being on here. All right, fine. Juice, we'll give you the final word. There we go. Let's go Saints. Just specifically Spencer Rattler. How about that?
Yeah, just Spencer Rattler.
All right. Appreciate everybody being on here. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if for some reason you haven't yet. And we will see you tomorrow.